are back. We are back to DCSS. I haven't played DCSS in a couple of weeks. And we had this tutorial going, which I'm sure I veered away from the tutorial here and there to go on rants about the devs, which, believe it or not, some people have asked me to give more opinions on the current design direction of DCSS, which I'm sure will come up at some point in this video, but primarily this is meant to be a tutorial video on how to play a really entry-level character, since trolls are super simple, although they are, I would say, harder to play than, for example, a Minotaur Berserker, because if you look at their stuff, the body armor is extremely limited. They don't get gloves, they don't get boots, and mainly it's the body armor thing, and their aptitudes are way crappier in pretty much every respect than the Minotaur. But anyway, if I recall correctly, we found Ashenzari super early, and on most characters, if you find Ashenzari super early, while Ashenzari is not going to increase the overall power level of your character as much as some other gods, it is going to stop you from getting shafted, getting teleported, and things like that. So it's one of my preferred gods, even if it doesn't give you the enormous power boost of, say, Gozag or Redem Null or even Okawaru, really. The power boost is there in terms of, like, especially for a troll, we're able to cast magic here despite the fact that our aptitudes are, well, -3 absolutely abysmal, -1 pretty bad, and yet, if I were to go into my skills by pressing M and I were to press the underscore, we would see the difference between the base and the enhanced it's quite a lot, on account of the fact that we cursed our rings and amulets. Now, since it's been a while since I've played this character, let's just take a quick look around, because I don't remember really much about this guy at all. I remember I have these really good rings and stuff. I remember I cursed these. I remember I was having a bad time with remove curse, but it looks like we have 2 of those now. We have a cursed large shield, now known as a tower shield for some reason. Interesting. I could curse this troll leather armor, perhaps. Clearly I'm going for stat form transmutes, and Earth is up. 78% fail rate on stat form. We'll have to do a little something about that. Hello, Bad Plus. Welcome to the stream. Got the same axe that causes mesmerize. Ooh. Saw Rolcha. Hope she doesn't have Crystal Spear. You got one-shotted. Yeah, so what you probably wanted to do there... Interesting. So it was... You got one shot of the very next turn after turning a corner? That sucks, man. What you probably had to do there was, well, with the axe, I guess you couldn't blink away. Oh, thank you for the compliment. I hope it was helpful. It's a rough situation. I mean, in that situation, if you're stuck with the axe, you can't walk away. Yeah, I don't know. You I guess, would want to use a Fear Scroll at that point, maybe? You gotta assume they're gonna do, their worst possible things. So, if I look at a Rolcha, her worst possible thing, if she's close enough to do it, is the Crystal Spear that does 69 damage maximum. You gotta assume she's gonna do 69 damage to you if she's within range. But then again, you also have to assume that she'll banish you, which, unless they've changed this recently, if you fear her, she'll still do that as a panic button. While feared, she'll still try to banish you. So it's kind of a rough situation to decide what to do in that situation. I'd have to see it. Anyway, looking at my equipment, let's see, are there any good robes? Robes of magic resistance. How are we doing? We're doing great on magic resistance. Yeah, our resistances are pretty much covered. We don't have our negative except for this amulet, which we don't want. Statue form will give that to us. We do have Arlek already. If we didn't, statue form would do that for us. It's the best thing to do when you're trying to, let's say you haven't played a character for a while, but you still have it, it's still around. Take a look at your items and look at your resistances, because that kind of gives you an idea of what you want to do and where you want to go. It looks like I do have a Ring of our core, but I'm not going to be able to swap it. What do we have in terms of... Oh, we have 2 runes. Okie dokie. Dang. Not going to be able to swap this Ring of our core if I don't. I would have to burn 2 remove curses, basically. Well, 1 remove curse to get it on, and then another to recurse it. We could do that. We could swap the Ring of our core for the Arlec RF Plus and then go into Slime Pits. Let's do Control O here to look at the map. So I have been to Orc. 2 out of 2. We have not been to Elf. So here's where we could go. We could go to Elf. We could go to Slime. We could go to Vaults. We do have a rune, so that's open. We could go to Depths, which I pretty much never recommend until you've done everything else. I think this character probably goes to Elf. Vaults might be a little safer. 1 through 4 anyway. And the goal is just to get stat form online, I guess. We'll be a real powerhouse once we have that. We probably want to switch to a robe at some point. Robe of the Archmagi would be good. Give us a spell power boost on the stat form. It would also mean that the stat form is more easily castable, although I kind of want to stick with the troll leather armor on account of the fact that, you know, it gives me that regen when I'm out of form, and it also gives me a little bit of... Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and curse. Let's go ahead and curse the armor. That's cool. Unfortunately, I think to get anything out of that, we would need to curse a hat or a cloak as well. That's a shame, because technically our armor is only considered, like, slightly cursed, you know? It needs to be at least half of the armor slots, and we have 2 more. Rogue Shenanigans says, stat form is the least useful in Elf, so that's a reason to do Elf now. Yeah, kind of. I mean, I would say that the calculus has more to do with, like, would I rather... I mean, what's easiest to do? That's sort of good logic, but what's more important is, like, what's least likely to get me killed? And the answer for this character is indeed probably Elf, but let's I don't know, like, it's kind of a toss-up between Elf and Vaults. The thing is, Vaults can have Elves anyway, so... Let's see, what do we have in terms of what I like to call outs, you know? And by outs, I mean if I'm next to something that can kill me in one hit, an Elf, what do I have that can stop that from happening? So I do have 2 Blink Scrolls, that's okay. I do not have any Silence. It's a shame. I do have 4 Scatter Shot, so if I'm right next to, like, an Elven Annihilator, and he could kill me next turn with Crystal Spear, we can kill him instantly with Scatter Shot with our very high evocations. It's almost guaranteed. Least likely to kill you is strictly Vaults 1 through 4. Yeah, probably. Probably. I do like to do Elf early when possible for the loot pile, though. But yeah, we're gonna hit up Vaults. We're gonna do this the sort of safe tutorial way. Hey, what's up, Mr. Ostrom? Okay, these guys are annoying. Rakshasas can Phantom Mirror, copying themselves or others. Once you kill the main one, though, which you can't really tell which one's the main one, the other ones will die. Hey, look, it's elves. It's like I went to Elf. Ooh, that's Force Lance. Okay, so I get a little bit hurt. I can just rest. I can go back down, go back up. These yellow guys, the Convokers, is that Trunk? Yeah, this is Trunk, but I didn't update my, Okay, so this is the worst version of Crawl that has ever been released, I think. They've kind of stopped caring about any kind of justification for why they're doing any of the changes, and it's all inconsistent. You know, it's like on one hand they'll say that, well, we're making this change to streamline the game and make it less tedious, and then they'll turn around and they'll put something in the game that's more tedious. Or they'll say, you know, this item is not very interesting, so we're taking it out, and then they'll put in Tremor Stones, which is the least interesting and least useful thing I've seen in my life. So I didn't update my Trunk game here because they removed Sack of Spiders, and they removed Lamp of Fire, and it's just really, really dumb. Especially considering they're like, oh, well, we're gonna clean up inventory space. Okay, so why is Tremor Stones in the game? You know, a useless item that almost nobody is going to use in its current form. Hey, Alexander. Some of my older YouTube content, you notice they have the same volume spikes as my Twitch content. Just wanted to know if you're aware of that audio problem. Volume spikes. I don't don't think anybody has complained about that in the past, so I was not aware of that. Volume spikes, that sounds really bad. That sounds like... Huh. It may be that I'm just like getting too close to the microphone once in a while, maybe. It's possible. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I don't even know how I would even begin to go about diagnosing what that's from. Thank you for the heads up, though. I'll try to look into that. Anyway, these yellow guys, these Convokers, can Word of Recall stuff from elsewhere on the level, so the fact that I pulled him up here means that he cannot really do anything other than he can cast Might, I guess, on the Deep Elf Knight. Let's just kill the Deep Elf Knight first. He's going to do the most damage. Wow, we are not meleeing him very hard at all. Kind of curious. We have 19.3 unarmed combat. Must have just got unlucky. Yes, Mr. Alstrom, here's the skilling. Ashenzari is helping us a whole lot with our casting. So despite my insanely bad aptitudes, we are in fact going for stat form this time. We're also taking shields to 15. Because we are a big boy, aka a large size race like ogres and trolls, we only need to take the tower, well, a large shield to... We only need to take our shield skill to 15 for a large shield. Ordinarily, that would be 25 skill. Okay, go down, go up. The summoned Ice Beast did not come up with us. Down, go up. I'm going to press 5 to rest. Go down. That way the elementals disappeared. I can just tab this stuff. Just some stair dancing. Whew. Centaur with a wand of disintegration. That would have been bad early in the game. If you don't hear it, then never mind. It's really hard to fix if you can't reproduce it on your end. Just wanted to mention because I like your content. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I would love to fix it. I just, well, I don't hear myself in my, I don't hear myself in my headphones. I don't do that because if I were to turn that on to where I could hear myself, I would not be able to follow my own train of thought. I'm one of those people where if I hear myself talking, and I understand that people on the radio sometimes will, they'll be able to hear themselves while they talk. At least I've heard that some people do that. I wouldn't be able to do that. So I don't know what it sounds like really as I'm talking. Literally nobody likes the sound of their own voice. It's not really that. It's more the fact that it would just be. It's something weird about my brain. Like I'm thinking about the things I want to say, and then I'm hearing the things that I just said, and it's like I feel like I'm giving myself some kind of seizure. Hey, CC Late, how you doing? All right, this is an interesting situation because this Convoker could, in fact, summon some really ugly stuff on top of us here. So, that is an Annihilator. Even worse situation. He can Crystal Spear us for a lot of damage. So let's back off. Let's make it to the staircase, basically, and do the same thing we were doing a minute ago, where we fight things one at a time. Oddly enough, the Convoker's not convoking, but that's fine. Pull back here. Okay, wait. Attack. Attack. Let's pull both of these dudes up. Okay, so a good amount of damage is possible here. Vault Guard's 20 damage plus Battle Axe. So that's 35 damage possible, minus whatever small amount of AC is guaranteed from this troll leather armor. And then something like 102? From the Crystal Spear. 3d 34, 90, 94, 98, 102. Yeah, so we need to kill him. And if he does some big stuff to us, we'll just scattershot him and he'll die. He just tried to Iron Shot me, and it bounced off my shield because I do have Reflect. Okay, we kill him. Not bad. I should look for artifacts real fast. I'm doing Control F and then Arty. I just want to make sure that there's nothing I've forgotten about in this run. Doesn't look like it. Scrolls, anything for sale? Any good stuff on the ground, perhaps? Not really. It's a digging wand for sale. How much money do we have? Hey, that's worth buying. Let's do that real fast. Oh, I don't have the money for the lightning rod, but that would have been cool for Elf. Oh well. I wonder if there's any, I already mentioned why my gear is cursed. Well, in the last few videos, but yeah. I mean, I can recap that if you want. This is an Ashenzari run, so the more cursed your gear is, the more skill bonuses you get. For example, with both of your rings and your amulet cursed, you get almost 5. Looks like yeah, it looks like about 4 right now, but it'll eventually become 5, I think, points in all of your effective points in all of your spell casting abilities. Not spell casting itself, but all of the spell schools, and then also evocations. So it's really, really, really good. Okay, so remember the red guy, the Vault Warden, is able to lock this staircase off, and he actually just did it right as I came down. Hey, what's up, Tumalu? So he sealed the doors. If we kill him, that goes away. So let's do that. Okay. Now that he's dead, we just go right up. Cool. Too bad you can't curse your hands. Yeah, that's one of the downsides to being a troll or an unarmed combat guy in general under Ashenzari, is that you can't curse your hands, therefore you cannot get an unarmed combat skill bonus. Ordinarily, you would get an unarmed combat, or not an unarmed combat, but a weapon skill bonus. Hey, Frog Wizard, thanks for the follow. Alright, this is a lot of damage possible from this deep troll. I'm going to try to attack him again. If it doesn't work, yeah, he's kind of wrecking me. Never mind, we got him. Alright, let's go to the staircase. I was going to scattershot him, but thankfully we didn't end up having to do that. Basically at 27 UC anyway, since you focus it. In general, yeah, you will end up with extremely high unarmed combat. We've got like 19.3 on this character. There's really no troll that doesn't want to train unarmed combat. I really don't care what you find. It's just really good right off the bat, you know. If anybody says that's not a complete and total no-brainer, they're leading you in the wrong direction. Like, go unarmed combat on your trolls. There's a Minmay troll. Well, that individual seems to think that giant clubs are good, and they're not. Okay, we found this shop. There's nothing in here that we want, it's all weapons, so kind of a topical shop to find. I'm just saying that. Okay, so you'll find all kinds of things in vaults. You'll find these ogre packs, for example. There's always going to be an ogre mage with them. Do ogres even like giant spiked clubs anymore? Nope. Nope, it's an extremely bad weapon. Okay, let's back off. Let's back off. The reason is because this ogre mage could, in fact, have Crystal Spear. So we're backing off, kind of to see what his spellbook is. And there it is. He cast Haste Other. Oh, wait, no, he always has Haste Other. Whoops. Cast Haste on himself. Okay, so he's the Lightning Bolt guy. I'm not worried about him. Hey! Frog Wizard! Thank you for the sub, my friend. Appreciate that, buddy. Are you planning on doing STS at all tonight, or just crawling? I'll probably do... Honestly, it probably depends on, like, subs and whatnot, but, I do want to lift at some point before I go to sleep, so that's like, that's the only thing on the rest of my, promised a sub yesterday on the Discord? Oh, you did. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, but yeah, outside of lifting, I don't really have anything else that I need to do tonight, so you may have been banned on Twitch before. I see. It's not hard to get banned from Twitch. Don't tell the Channies. Alright, I won't. Anyway, yeah, basically the long story short is, yeah, I can do some STS rogue shenanigans, maybe right after we finish our session here. But I may take a break to eat, I may take a break to lift, it just kind of depends. I already got a lot of stuff done on my, on programming my game today. Okay, so this is a bit of a problem. This dude is going to LRD the metal walls and do a ton of damage to me, so I'm kind of moving around out of his sight so he can't do that. I don't have very good AC, so Rapid Decon will blow up the walls. It won't actually remove the walls, but it will make a big explosion happen around them, and it tends to do a lot of damage if you don't have good AC. So we just kind of lured him back here and then killed him. For the most part, this character is pretty strong and can just kind of tab into things and kill them, but we're still... This is what I would call bad defenses. You know, 15 AC, 13 EV. This is like an infant trying to box Mike Tyson right now in terms of how defensive I am. I've got no protection game here. I've got really good SH though, so generic melee attacks are pretty unlikely to hit me. But it does nothing for me against things like LRD. So what we're doing is we're carefully staying outside of, you know, not right here, not next to the walls, because the LRD can't hit me if I'm right here. Am I still casting a bit? Yeah, well, because we're Ashenzari, we have the luxury of being able to cast, and what we're working on is we're working on getting stat form online, which is something, you know, again, huge luxury on a troll, but in this case I think it's worth it, just because Ashenzari. So we got transmutations to 10. Notice how Earth Magic is higher than transmutation, but it costs less. If you look at the cost menu here. That's because the aptitude is -1 for Earth Magic, and it's -3 for transmutations. So we're going to keep training Earth Magic, and we're going to try to keep these two numbers equalized, basically, as much as possible, the two cost numbers. We're also still working on getting shields to 15. Trolls don't suck that much at Earth Magic. Yeah, they're actually okay at it, although it's like... You got to understand it. It's a combination of aptitude and intelligence, and your troll intelligence, and even if you pump it right off the bat, is really crappy. Like 11 is real low, so it's an issue. And the spellcast, yeah, spellcasting. Honestly, like we could probably take spellcasting to 5, even with the -5 aptitude. -5 is pretty insane though. Look at the cost. The cost is already 9.5, almost the same as the Earth Magic. It's really bad. In fact, I'm only going to take that to 4. Okay, the Deep Elf Mage has a Wand of Acid. I have a thing in my RC file that makes the screen flash when I see things like that. At this point in the game, I'm not super afraid of that, but I do want to kill him if possible without him using it. So, I mean, the reasoning is that we want to take his wand. So we're going to polymorph him. We fail. We're going to polymorph him. We succeed. He has a floating eye, which is frankly terrifying in its own way, since he can paralyze me, but we should swing on him, and he should die. Yep. And we got 6 charges of acid. Hell yeah. Technically, he did have 1 chance to zap me there because I failed to poly him, but he didn't choose to do it. Tab, tab, tab. How are we doing on item slots? 49 out of 52? That's not bad. We don't need those arrows. We'll drop some stuff here in a minute. Let's just tab this stuff. I kind of moved right here instead of in the hallway so less things are attacking me at once. They could surround me, but it would be obnoxious for them. So this could have been bad. He could have crystal speared me. He can do something like 100 damage with that. We'll... You know, we have an out though. We have the scatter shot, right? Cool. -1 spellcasting for each nasty troll nail. Yeah. Another source of crystal spear. Okay, so sometimes, see how I was here? I specifically got into the spot where that exclusion is, right? And sometimes what you want to happen, which is for the guy to go right here, will not happen. And instead he's a clever little ass and he goes right here instead. And so what you do there, like, you realize, well, he can, you know, he's 3 tiles away from me, so he can shoot me with the crystal spear. At that point, you either close the door, or you take a step to the right. Now I take a step to the left because this Deep Elf Knight is most likely just going to try to attack me. Dang. I'm just gonna try to melee him. Got him. Slouch. Wrong god, bro. This is a lot of damage possible. So if I had been clever, I would have checked who owned those earth elementals and killed that deep elf mage first. You can do that by mousing over them with, or pressing X going into examination mode and kind of hovering over them. Over the, I think the mage or the deep elf. Or the earth elementals, but I'd have to check on that. It makes a little green thing show up on the servant or the master. Okay, time for Vaults 2. No new cool artifacts. No new remove curse scrolls either. What we really want is a silence scroll so that I can do elf and feel safer about it. Yeah, I'll do 15 runes. I've been doing that every game. In every single one of these tutorial games, I've been doing 15 runes. It's really not bad. I've always said that 15 runes, if you can do 3 to 5 runes, you can do 15 runes on every single character. People have, I think, maybe doubted that a little bit. But I think it's true. Are we going to change God for extended? Maybe. That is a definite maybe. Probably even. Let's pull back to the staircase. We could make it happen with Ashenzari. If we get Necromutation online, then we could just make it happen with Ashenzari. We may end up having to farm for a little while, though. Sorry, Ash, we have experience to spare now. Yeah, see, that's the thing is, I have to keep in mind my stat form will just get straight up disabled if I don't have enough experience. By the way, those blue guys I was fighting, Vault Sentinel, they can mark you. And even with my enormous magic resistance, there is a 1% chance of me being marked, because that has extremely high spell power. So, just be aware of that. If you do get marked, just go back to a safe area, like upstairs, and then go down a different staircase once the mark expires. Sphinxes can paralyze you, among other things. Luckily, I'm immune, because my MR is just too high. This is way too many ugly things for me to fight at the same time, so we're going to go into a hallway. We have all the resistances, though, so I'm not real worried if it's just one-on-one. Stat form is 36%. We're getting there. 36% fail rate. Also, the cost of transmutations is now 10.1, 10.7 for Earth Magic, so we're going to take transmutations to 11. We have a spectator here. Oh, it's Dinky. Dinky's my boy. He was on my tournament team when we crushed the .24 tournament. Dude was a champion. Just played really, really well, played his heart out. And it was funny because when I recruited him, he was like, "Oh, I don't know if I can streak very well." And then he proceeded to streak like 15 games. This is really good. Ash gives clarity from 6-star. Yeah. I think it's 5-star, but it might be 6-star. Okay, we are flayed right now. I'm gonna burn some acid. Can this dude agony me? No, he can't. Yeah, I really don't know, Mr. Alstrom. I think that you can't do the skill transfer until 6-star. Okay, we're gonna kill the flayed ghost. We lose the flay effect. Identify, nothing to identify. Do I want to transfer skills anywhere? I just realized we have that option. Transfer knowledge, we can, because of Ashenzari, we can move skills from one thing to another. I'm tempted to take away hexes. We only have a little bit of hexes, but it's not like we're going to use it ever again. We don't even have any hex training, or hex spells. So we're going to do A and C, that's ability and then knowledge transfer. We're going to select hexes as the source, and we'll put this into, I guess transmutations. Hey Strider, how you doing, my friend? If Araki has statue form up, do you think it's worth to transfer stealth skill into another? Probably. I think that stealth, the main use of stealth on most characters is to make the early game more consistent. I think that once you reach a certain point in the game, stealth is really not that useful unless you're playing a very certain type of character. It remains really, really good in Abyss, I guess, if you're in the mid-game and are not very strong enough to survive there yet. Yeah, stealth is hugely important in the early game. I used to hold a different opinion on that, and then I started, then I got good at streaking and I realized it's really important. Alright, Ice Dragon can do 75 damage of cold to me. I have RC though, so I'm just going to tab him. Someone asked me earlier if there was any dragon armor. The answer is no, just Swamp Dragon skills, which is one of the reasons we decided, now that I'm thinking about it, that is like the main reason we decided to go for stat form. Hey, Senshi, I am doing just fine. I am good today. Tab, tab, tab. None of this stuff really threatens this character. Just a bunch of crap. I mean, most of these enemies you have seen in other branches, so it's not a whole lot to explain, you know. The Yaktars are just centaurs that are slower and do more damage. You're pretty excited? Yeah, you like the DCSS? It has been a while, hasn't it? Tab these elves, just low-level elves, no big deal. These guys can do 22 a pop, 22 more if they merge. No big deal, we'll just kill them. Just don't fight them in a hallway. Oh, this is a little dangerous. I shouldn't have let that happen. I should have gone here. Those wraiths can slow you, and in fact I did get slowed. That little red thing at the top right of his tile that disappeared just now is Injury Mirror. You typically don't want to attack them when they have Injury Mirror up, since you'll be doing damage to yourself. Tab through these low-level elves again. In Trunk, the Deep Elf Knights are a little stronger because they have Force Lance. Troll who doesn't throw rocks. I mean, large rocks are good. I'm not gonna lie, they're good, but because Ashenzari, it's pretty clear that Evokes was the way we wanted to go, since I can increase my Evoke skill, and I can't increase my throwing skill with Ashenzari's powers. Risking a stupid dev teleport vault. Yeah. Alright, Hexes is now 0. We could do some more transfer knowledge if we wanted to. I could probably get rid of fire. I don't really need Conjure Flame anymore. Totally not ripped off of Mario music plays. Hey, Strider, thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate it.
Totally not ripped off Mario music plays.
Nope, that's not Mario at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, ooh, hey, that's good. That's real good. We just found one of the best books in the game. Lightning Spire is probably among the top 3, maybe top 5, maybe top 3 spells of the game. Silence is really good in some situations. Deflect Missiles is amazing for the late game, and this character, despite being a big dumb troll, could potentially make some use out of that. So let's go ahead and get Spire. I mean, Silence is good on a lot of characters, even certain spellcasters, believe it or not. Now it's going to be a good long while till we can make use of any of that crap, though. -4 aptitude on Charms, -4 aptitude on Air. That is low. that is so low that I'm almost foolish for even considering getting it, you know. Cost has ballooned up on Earth Magic, dang. So we want to keep our charms, we want to keep summons, we would like to get some air. So let's take that to 1. Or take it to like 4, so Ashenzari's skill stuff kicks in. It doesn't kick in until you get a little bit of training, you know. Is there anything I could get rid of Conjurations and Fire? Did I pop all stats into Strength from level up? Yes, I did. Until recently, because I didn't think this character was going to go for stat form until we just kind of got ripped off a little bit on Dragon Scales. We just didn't find it in the early game or the mid game. And then we found stat form, and we were worshipping Ashenzari. So it's like, you know, I always say that DCSS, it's a game about rolling with the punches, right? It's a game about taking what the game gives you and turning it into a winning combination. So while I wanted to just roll through the game with Golden Dragon Scales ripping everything apart, that's not what ended up happening for me. And so if I really wanted to, I could chill out and just, like, you know, wear this troll leather armor and survive a really long time. And maybe find like a gold dragon scale later down the line, something great. But if that doesn't happen for me, then I've kind of cornered myself in the end game. You know, I've got a guaranteed end game right now in the form of stat form. So, you know. Anyway, yeah, let's transfer knowledge. Let's get rid of our conjurations. We're never going to need that again. In fact, I don't remember why we trained that. Probably for Conjure Flame. Just to kill hydras and stuff. Let's transfer that into transmutations. Cool. Because yeah, we're not gonna be casting Conjure Flame again. We really don't need it. In fact, I can probably amnesia some of this stuff. Sticks to Snakes, by the way, is in a really good place now. Yeah, let's just get rid of Conjure Flame. I mean, it's good, but not anymore. What's a good breakpoint for unarmed combat for a caster? I mean, if you're trying to win with statue form, then you're not a caster anymore. You're a guy who punches people in the face. So there really isn't a breakpoint. You just go as high as possible. 20 is generally, though, if you don't want to go crazy and take it to 27, like I find that 20 is a good place to last you the whole game. 12, I guess, is okay once you're in like the mid game. These are just kind of my opinion, though, in terms of things that I've found that works. Yeah, 15 is like 15, I think, is the minimum if you wanted to go all game using unarmed combat. You can kill an Orb of Fire with skill 15 stat form punches, you know. On skill 15 unarmed combat stat form punches. It works. It's just like I'd rather have more, personally. S branches? Yeah, 12 will work for S branches, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, do we want to amnesia anything else? I'll keep everything else. But yeah, at some point, I think I do want to get D-Missile, despite the fact that I'm a big dumb troll, and I'd like to have Silence. I'd like to have Silence right the hell now, but that's a level 5 spell. It's probably not going to happen. Also, we transferred off all of our hexes, so that's probably not going to happen. Not that I had much to begin with, but still. Okay, back off. Try to take fights at staircases. What's an S branch? No, S branch is just swamp and spider nest. They're called S branches because they start with S. Swamp, spider, shoals. Whatever the fourth one is. Swamp, spider, shoals, snake. Aren't trolls good with hexes? No, -4 aptitude. Oh, I'm just tabbing, and there is a Flayed Ghost there. Let's acid him. There's a big potential for damage here. Good, he's dead. Get my hit points back. Yeah, BHoth changed a lot of aptitudes around in his fork B-Crawl, which I think... At this point, I'm prepared to say that it is the superior product to DCSS, you know. If you compare Trunk DCSS, which has development that reminds me of a clown circus, I really do think BHoth is simply making the better product right now. The only reason that I am playing in mainline right now is, one, because that's where my world record streak is. Two, that's where newbies get onboarded onto the game. But I can do my part sort of to encourage people to play a development branch that is run by people who kind of know what they're doing a little more. Clown circuses are entertaining. Don't come after clown circuses. Okay, so it's like a clown circus, but you're in that movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You know, it's like an unpleasant one. I think 0.24 is good DCSS version. Yeah, it's got a lot of quality of life things. There are aspects of 0.24 that I sort of poo-poo on fairly regularly, but I mean, 0.25 is so bad that I thought there have been at least half of the changes are so silly that I legitimately thought they were satire when I first found out about them. Like, I thought Potion of Stabbing was somebody's bad joke, but it's not. Oh boy, this is the one situation I would want to use a Trimmer Stone in. We could kill the Boggarts. Lightning Rod would probably be better here. Yeah, the removal of Sacra Spiders and the reasoning. Yeah, absolutely. Big meme. Alright, so this is funny. The Boggarts have summoned not just a Flayed Ghost, but also an Entropy Weaver, so potentially get memed pretty hard here. I think we're going to go ahead and burn an acid to kill him. And he dies, and all of his summons go away. Boggarts can be pretty annoying. Alrighty. Let's finish up Vaults 3. Watch out for vampires, by the way. Vampires can show up in the early dungeon, and then they can just permanently confuse you if you don't have good MR, which you probably don't in the early game. This is a Vampire Knight. He has Paralyze. Also a super dangerous thing that one will only show up at this point in the game or later usually. But if they have a Phantasmal Warrior next to them, that's these guys. These guys can have your MR, and then the paralysis from the Knight is way more likely to happen. Alright, so this is the generally accepted order of operations for which branch you're going to go into, you know? Okay, check it out. Hold on a second. I'm going to set Earth Magic to 16, Transmutation to 14, skill targets, and then we'll just kind of leave it. Alright, so the generally accepted order of operations has you going into... I mean, this is just something Elliptic made up, and it's okay. It doesn't work every time, but this is an okay turn order. Notice how he says to go to Vaults 4. He doesn't say to go to Vaults 5. Some of this I disagree with. Like, I would very rarely go into Vaults before I finish up the two, both S branches, but whatever. The point is that Vaults 5 is a totally different beast than the rest of Vaults. So we're doing Vaults 1 through 4. Essentially, we're doing this to get gold. Well, not gold. We're doing this to get items. We're doing this to get experience. And it's just easier than any of the other places we can go to right now. Hey, identify. Hey, Scroll of Acquirement. Okay. Well, we get the new we get the new trunk acquirement now. Let's see what's up. Okay, Faith doesn't really do a whole lot for us on Ashenzari. Agony ranged. Yeah, I already talked a bunch of trash about how dumb Agony ranged is. The fact that like there's even less monster player reciprocity than before, and it's just like it just smacks of incredibly lazy programming and incredibly lazy game design. Anyway, so Cursed Amulet of Mysticism. This is fun. It gives you RC plus. It gives me plus invis. I could go invis whenever I want. It gives me more strength. It nerfs my int, which is very bad. Oh, good night, Mr. Elstrom. And Faith would be amazing on certain gods, not this one. Because all that does is increase your piety gain, and we aren't really using our piety that much. So honestly, this is just going to be a gold, I guess. Yeah, this is just going to be gold. Kind of a shame, but it's okay. Maybe we'll find a use for the gold. Mockleb Faith. See, I don't actually get a lot of use out of Mockleb Faith, because I don't use his demons that much. I would really want to have Faith on, like, weirdly enough, Che Briados, I think, would be my #1 pick for Faith. Okay, so most of the stuff is speed 10, so we just walk right back to the staircase and pull up 1 or 2 of them at a time, and then crush them. Statue form down to 12%. still red though, so we're going to try to avoid casting it, since one of the miscasts for transmutation is just a straight up mutation, which we don't want to risk, you know. I would say that Faith on Okawaru is really cool because you get gifts faster. I think Faith, you can also use Finesse way more often. Faith on Trog is cool, you get gifts faster there, and you can use Brothers in Arms more often. Faith on, I guess, Kazlao is fun. you can blow things up more often, I suppose. Faith is funny on Jivia, I guess, because you get more mutations. I think Redumnul Faith will give you more, allies. Faith for Rue is a funny special case, Levidoc. Thanks for bringing that up, because with Rue, it's like, it gives you your sacrifice choices more often. And then like once you're done making sacrifices on Rue, your piety goes to full. It never goes down again. So you can just take off the faith and nothing happens. It's great. Alrighty, so we have this amulet. This also has faith. It has Star Corrode though, so I don't care about it. Star Corrode's really bad. Typically I won't wear a Star Corrode item. We found this Ring of Pusha, which sounds like a rapper's name. Anyway, like DJ Pusha or something. Anyway, it's RC minus and RF++, and while it has our core and RN+, I think I'm just gonna walk on by, basically. I don't need that. Watch out for Ettins, they can do a lot of melee damage. In fact, I'm gonna shout right here to attract this stuff to the staircase. You can throw stuff at me. If I take any damage, I'll just, you know, just go up, go back down, go back up. Technically, the Ettin could do a ton of damage to me, but my shield is just basically putting in work, you know? Despite the fact that my defenses overall are terrible, as long as I don't get surrounded by too many things, the shield is reasonably likely to keep me from taking any damage from most sources. Identify, Scroll of Summoning, okay. We need to drop some stuff. What do I want to drop? I don't really need... Let's get rid of Polymorph and Descent. Because we have Paralysis, which is a different source of MR targeting, you know, Disable. We also have Enslave for the same purpose, and Disintegrate is just... It's really good versus certain things, but it's reaching the end of its, you know, huge usefulness. We get rid of Wand of Flames as well. Pick up the Wand of Ice Blast, which remains great for the entire game. Oh man, it's getting dark in here. Let me turn on the light. Give me a second. Tangled my headphone wire. Great. Okay. If I keep the light off in this room long enough, I'll get sleepy, which is, how will I do my Slay the Spire run after this if that happens? Remove Curse, cool. We have 3 scrolls of Remove Curse now. That is really good for Ashenzari. I could maybe do some of that Resist Corrosion swapping, which is going to be important if we go into Slime, on account of the fact that, you know, our core is borderline necessary in there. Okay, I'm going to dig this out. It looks like this is like a separated floor, so we'll just connect the 2 parts of the floor. What's up, guys? Sure is a lot of ogres. It's a great place to fight all this stuff. Nice little hallway where only one thing can hit me at once. I'm tabbing, but I'm also kind of watching what happens every time, because some of this stuff, like for example this very ugly thing, can hit kind of hard. 27 plus 54 cold. I do have RC, so the cold is halved, but it's a lot. So I am watching after each attack what happens. Also, we've got this Ogre Mage who, it looks like he doesn't have the LCS, but he could have. You know. But we just kind of kill everything. So just imagine how much worse that fight would have gone if instead of chilling out and fighting in this cool little hallway, I had been like right here, you know? Just surrounded and getting beat down and killed. I would have literally died if I had tried to do that. By the way, we have a bunch of enchant armor, so why don't we use it? Why don't we enchant our tower shield up to +8, which is that's as enchanted as it can possibly be, which is awesome. SH is now 34. It's really, really good. Again, we walk back into this little hallway, severely limiting what these guys can do to me. This is what you might call a force multiplier for your shield, because your shield works better the less things are attacking you. Let's see, statue form is down to yellow. That's not quite good enough though, it's 9%. Let's take Earth to 17, let's take Transmutations to 15, let's take Spellcasting to 5. If I look at the cost is now significantly lower for Spellcasting. I'm going to cast this once though. Yeah, cool, we didn't miscast. Just to take a look at what our defenses come. So our defenses become 28 AC, which honestly is not that great. EV drops to 14. But like, we can just... That based 11 intelligence, yeah, we really need more int. Once we level up to 21, I'll increase it by 1, I suppose. Let's just turn this into a Che run in the late game, in the extended game. So you'll notice, oh hey, we stopped being a statue. Even the duration is low. When we move around as a statue, move around, take actions, whatever, everything takes 1.5x as much time. So. Can be very, very dangerous. Does make us immune to Flayed Ghost Flay, though. Chase stat form from Big Slouches. Hell yeah. Che Extended is completely miserable. But I mean, you do feel strong. Anyway, downstairs leads to Vaults 5. A horrible place that we don't want to be in yet. It's time to do Elf. We're pretty much going to avoid using stat form in Elf. We may, by the way, end up in Dragon form for part of this game if we find it. The illusion of feeling strong. Well, there's strength and there's fragility. You know, I would say that Che characters are incredibly strong, but they're also incredibly fragile. Weirdly enough. But they're not fragile in some ways because their defenses are great. But as soon as you put them into extended, where the turn economy matters an awful lot, suddenly there's a problem if you need to move at all. Okay, so I'm just like basically pulling things up, killing them one by one. Whenever you go up, summons don't follow you. Which, by the way, as much as I enjoy that in this game, I suspect that maybe that should be changed. It probably won't be, but, you know. This is an okay place to go into stat form. Aw, man. Are we attacking? No, we're attacking 0.9, that's good. 0.9 speed is a good attack speed. In stat form, as long as it's below 1. I thought we were attacking slower than that. Alright, so this is like the exact enemy we don't want to be in stat form against. Because if I were to move around him while in stat form, he would get a chance to LCS me twice. Which would, even with my massive hit points, that would be enough to kill me if he rolled maximum. I don't feel super slick about being in here without a silence scroll. I really like silence because it just guarantees that anything that casts around me is just gonna get wrecked. Just can't do anything except attack me. But the scatter shot will probably be good enough, assuming things go poorly. We also have a good pile of digging, which I'm going to show you guys my usual strategy in here this time with digging. Okay, that's Torment. We can drop that. We won't need Torment. Be careful around these air elementals. They can vortex you, and believe it or not, it can move your character, but it can even pull you through a wall, which is a bug that they just haven't bothered to fix for some reason. Stat form against these guys. Oops, see, that's a problem. Force lanced away. I probably shouldn't be in stat form against these dudes. Against the knights, anyway. Probably even against the mages, because they jump around so much. Try to avoid Elf 3 if you don't have a digging... I assume you mean wand. Digging wand, but suck it up if you don't find one. I mean, it's certainly preferable to have the digging wand. You can do it without. And it's really not that bad. It's just, like, less consistent. You know? There's ways to make it happen. It's just way more tedious, I think, would be the word for it. There's Annihilators. We don't want to fight 2 Annihilators at once. Okay, that's cool. He can just kill himself with my massive SH. That's fine with me. I'm cool with that. Oh no, Frog Wizard. That's really rough. Get to a wall and dig a little kill hole for yourself. Okay, so this is a funny little vault that requires you to have flying to do it. Or certain other things. Technically, if we could get somebody to open that door, we could just like roll in there, I guess, with Blink perhaps, but I'm just gonna drink a flight. Some loot. Blur this guy out. If I wanted to, I could use scrying with Ashenzari to see exactly what's in here. Like what enemies are in here before I fight them, but I'm confident I can kill just about anything that spawns here, so I don't really care that much. Okay. Stat form for this stuff. That's a summoned fire elemental. Okay, cool. So notice how my stat form says Stone Claws. The amount of extra melee damage I'm getting from this is incredible. I'm also getting Aurelek, although I already had it. I'm also becoming totally immune to poison. And of course my AC is a lot higher, and I have guaranteed damage reduction. A lot of cool stuff from stat form. Also, I hit, in addition to the base damage increase from unarmed combat, every single attack I do, whether it's unarmed combat or not, is increased by 50% damage. Hey, Frog Wizard, nice strategy, bro. Okay, so let's, instead of taking this hatch, which is going to lead me to a floor I haven't explored, which, by the way, I should have done. I should have just explored Elf 2 before doing this. I'm just going to blink. Nice and free. Takes me right out of that dumb vault. No, you don't keep helmets in stat form. You, wait, do you? Yeah, I guess you do. I think. I mean, not my troll, because I can't wear a helmet anyway, but... yeah, just gloves and boots are melted. And body armor. That's another reason trolls are happier with it than many races, because I can't wear gloves and boots anyway, and my body armor is extremely limited. The Robe of Surprise. I'm surprised at how much I don't want to wear this robe. Okay, remove curse, magic mapping. I'm just going to go ahead and buy this stuff. I'm not going to buy the identify. We already have enough. We have a ton of money, so... no spellcaster would want that. Well, the RC+, RF+. MP -9 is painful, I guess, but there are some spellcasters I guess I would wear that on. I would not be very happy about it, but it's... there are some narrow situations where Maybe I'd do that. Anyway, yeah, these mages just summon a bunch of garbage that probably can't hurt you that much. Special mention is the fact that they can summon Tarantellas sometimes, which do get to, they're the little purple spiders, they can confuse you. But not me, I'm immune because I'm worshipping Ashenzari. Okay, let's see. Statue form down to 4%. Perfect, that's great. So let's go ahead and reevaluate what we're doing here. I'm going to train fighting to 15. I'm going to train unarmed combat up more. I'm going to train dodging to 15. Can Tarantellas confuse you in statue? I do not know. It is not a poison effect, so yes, they can confuse you in statue form. Absolutely. No, it's not MR either. It completely bypasses everything. It's called AF confuse. And that it's just an attack effect. Like, as soon as they hit you, boom, you can be confused. Which means that if you are, if the thing is berserked, for example, or hasted, like from a Moth of Wrath, which can berserk its allies, then what that means is that on any character where that happens, if you have no way of getting out of the confuse, and maybe even if you do, they're attacking so fast that if you were to drink a curing potion, there's actually a reasonably strong chance that they just hit you and confuse you again. So be very wary of berserked Tarantellas, or if there's like multiple Tarantellas, because you could get yourself into a no-win situation pretty quickly. Anyway. We're just doing Elf 2. Once we clear the majority of this this floor, or the entirety of it outside of the Hollow Blades, we'll do the Hollow Blades. Okay. So, past this little ruined gate, which is no longer ruined because I opened it up, is this area that used to be its own floor, but isn't and hasn't been for a long time, where you'll find these super elves, blade masters, who are really good in melee, really fast, and then you'll find a bunch of animated weapons, and usually people used to go in here to get weapons, you know, if they hadn't found their endgame weapon yet. We're just doing this for the experience, basically. Oh yeah, fighting, unarmed combat, dodging. I was going to train one more thing. I was going to train Aaron Charms, as silly as this is. We'll take both to 10. We really want to get D-Missile online if possible. Okay, this is a great place, like, this is a great enemy to use statue form against. Let's learn deflect missiles. It'll be a long time until... Oh, hey. While we were memorizing, we just got attacked by this dude. Yeah, we'll crush this stuff in statue form. Okay, so at some point we'll be able to cast deflect missiles, and by the way, we'll be able to cast this even when it's like red miscast. You know, it's dark red now, but when it's down below 50%, it'll probably still be red, but we'll be casting it at like the 50% level because there's not too many bad miscasts that can happen. And the way that D-Missile works is it's just nice to have online, even if the spell power is kind of low. We just might have to recast it pretty often for a while. Oh, also, you know what? Let's transfer knowledge. I just remembered we still have fire. From fire to, I guess fighting, whatever. Cool. Yeah, so this was just a bunch of crap in here to kill and get experience off of. You're not really likely to find any loot in here unless you're looking for a weapon, but that's fine. Alright, so Elf 3. If I wasn't worshipping Ashenzari, I would be pretty worried about even setting foot in this floor. Because of explore traps, you know, you can just like, boom, and get teleported directly into the end vault, surrounded by horrible dudes, but... because I'm worshipping Ashenzari, I'm immune to that bullshit. Which is great. Get intelligence, we leveled up to 12, or excuse me, we leveled up to 21. That's a multiple of 3, so we get a stat. That one int probably goes pretty far, to be honest. Ring of Wizardry would be kind of nice on this character, I have to admit, but I don't think so. Dropping those arrows, by the way. Forgot to drop those earlier. Probably keep the Curare. We could potentially get some use out of that still. Actually, we could especially get some use out of it here. Like right here, actually. Boom. Now he's slowed. Cool. This is the end vault. You can tell because there's stone. 9 times out of 10 when you see stone on Elf 3, that means you're going into the end vault. There's also crystal here, which they like to build their little clubhouse out of. Let's go and get into the hallway. Let's kill this dude. Okay, let's go ahead and dig a little bit. Hopefully we don't see any elementalists to bust up my little plan here. And oops, there he is. There's the jerk himself. Okay, so he has repel missiles, so while I would like to kill him as fast as possible, using Wand of Acid is pretty likely to just miss. So we could Clouds him. I think I'm just going to melee. Yeah, we just melee him down. Now we back off. Okay, we dig this way. So it's called a kill hole. We go stat form. Attack, 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 attack. Shout. I'm just going to shout a lot. So here's the thing. Being in statue form like this is generally considered a bad idea. For the reasons I mentioned earlier, this guy can LCS me, and if he gets the chance to LCS me twice, that's like 204 damage. Although, in statue form, you'll notice my hit points is significantly higher, and I actually have enough unarmed combat training that even with the slow from the statue form, I can still attack at 0.9 speed. So he's not actually going to get 2 moves on me, and if he gets 1 big move on me, we're just going to scattershot him, and he's virtually guaranteed to die. So I am going to do this in statue form, believe it or not. The only real risk here, the obnoxious thing, is if he were to blink really far behind me, which would be kind of a problem. These sorcerers, they can banish you, not me, I have too much MR, they can corrosive bolt me. Technically, with the corrosive bolt situation, if he were to haste himself and do that twice, that's actually a lot of damage because it's acid splash for each one. So you're actually looking at something like 150 damage from 2 corrosive bolts with the haste. Hurl Hellfire, now called Hurl Damnation. We don't need to worry about that because he won't do that if he's next to me. But that's just a flat out 60 damage, 3d20, potentially 60 damage. And again, if he hastes, he could double it up. But that's okay, we're just going to kill him. Really relying on Scattershot as our big out here. We don't have our core against these guys, so stat form, increase the duration. It was ending, you could tell because the light green statue form had become closer to this very full dark green. Demonologists are no big deal here. He summons demons, but he's not gonna blink around, he doesn't have it. So even if he were to summon, you know, some horrible demon like an Ice Fiend or something right now, he's gonna stay next to me, and I'm just gonna beat the hell out of him, you know? Demonologists are scary, but only when they're behind other guys and capable of sort of hiding, you know? So here we go, we just kill the whole end vault one by one. Each one of these dudes is incredibly dangerous even by himself. Altogether, they become horrifically dangerous, so fighting them one-on-one like this is a really good idea. As long as you have the right set of tools to fix the problem, if one were to develop. You hear a shout. Let's shout from here. I really don't want these dudes to see me, if possible, until they're right next to me. And the reason for that is if it's an elementalist, then the deal is that if he sees me, he'll start tearing up the walls and turning them into elementals. The sorcerer has the best shield in the game. Arguably one of the best shields in the game anyway, the Shield of Resistance. I'm probably not going to use it this game, as much as RF plus, RC plus, MR plus is, you know, amazing. The reason is because it's only a regular shield. Base shield rating of 8. So it's only going to have 10 SH. So like we have RC plus, RF plus already. We have all the MR plus we'd ever need in the form of this wacky ring. So ordinarily I would never leave the shield behind, but I want my more, I want my huge pile of SH more. Yeah, it's usually amazing, absolutely. Is there an RC to pause actions when statue form drops? Yep. You can pause it when it drops. I think it says something like you feel more like yourself, so you can just add that to your force more. There's also one that says your transformation is starting to end or something like that. My RC actually does warn me. At least, there it is. Your transformation is almost over. And see the more that showed up, that's because of my RC. I don't have a screen flash there, maybe I should. I also have a force more for you revert to your normal fleshy form, apparently. So the warning is there, it's just not quite as obnoxious as my usual screen flash stuff. Do not need this ring. The Ring of Vanity. Okay, we haven't seen any of these dudes yet. High Priests. Just more Hellfire, basically. Smite targeted. Okay, this is pretty dangerous. Let's go here. Let's end transformation, because this guy's going to be moving pretty quick here. Try to melee him down. Oh, okay, he's got a Balrog. It's no big deal. We can just kill him. Let's go into our little hidey hole and rest. Force more, your transformation is ending soon. No, it would be force more, I think, plus equals. And then like the whole text string, maybe with quotes around it. I'd have to look. I think, did I do this? Did I add? Yeah, look at that. And you'll see exactly how it's done. Go past me for actually adding that to the bot. I know the people that are watching this video later will not see it, but the bot actually responded with a link to my RC file. Here's this guy. Just kill him. I'm gonna I stepped down into the right so this archer could not really shoot at me until the elementalist was dead. Haha, he killed himself with reflect. Try to go next to the people if possible, the ones that have access to Hellfire, or Damnation as it's called, because then they won't use that. A Brimstone Fiend comes into view. That's a useful one. One of the most dangerous enemies in the game, so yeah. That's a good ring. +6 strength, +4 int. We're probably not going to use it because it's just stats, but it could be nice for this character. Harm amulet. I will never wear a harm amulet. You can't make me. Crossbow manual. We don't need that. One of the reasons I like doing elf so much is because of this giant loot pile. You need to learn to do elf consistently and safely if you want to consistently and safely win this game, because the loot pile is really important. Ooh, Manual of Armor. That's cute. We'll never need it. I sure wish I wasn't using stat form. Notice how I'm backing off to places that he couldn't see, so he would have to kind of reset the fight and come to me again. So I get the next attack. He does not get the next attack. File of Floods, really good item. In Trunk, which I have paused my Trunk updates, so it should be the old version, but in the latest version of Trunk they did something super stupid to this item, which is that you no longer get the water elementals from it, and instead it just kind of does a little damage and applies it applies silence. Pretty goofy. I liked the item the way it was, personally. I think they finally managed to create a version of the game that is so stupid that I'm not going to play it. And I've stuck through a lot with these people, and their, you know, devolution of this game, but this just has such a critical mass of bad ideas in it that, you know. Steam Dragon Scales minus Telly. Interesting. This is an SDS and B-crawl channel now, and I don't mind. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like I said, you're only going to see me playing mainline DCSS for the purposes of, one, extending this world record streak, and two, doing tutorials for newbies, you know, because I do think that DCSS is a game with a lot of potential. It's just currently being run into the ground by people who, and I know that, like, a lot of people are like, well, stop insulting the devs, don't be mean to the devs, but, you know, I'm going to be really harsh, and I'm going to be really, not really harsh, I'm going to be honest, and I'm not going to put kid gloves on when it comes to criticizing the game and its development, because, like, number one, some of these people have, you know, behaved super monstrously towards me. Like, one of them calls anybody who doesn't like him or disagrees with him a Nazi. Not just me, but other people too. So it's like, that kind of person I'm not going to go out of my way to be nice to. But on top of that, I think that when you're creating something, you should expect that kind of feedback. Really, really, you know, harsh but fair criticism. And I expect that when it comes to, like, the book that I wrote, or the game that I'm working on. Like, I 100% expect people to tell me when they think I'm screwing up. And I may disagree with it, but I don't want people to sugarcoat things, you know, so it is what it is. Anyway, this is interesting. There's a Steam Dragon scale with minus telly on it. If I wasn't Ashenzari, you might see me wear this for Zot 5 or something, just to go in and make sure I don't get random telly. But that's another thing they've ruined, actually, in Trunk. I don't think minus telly works anymore on telly traps, which is pretty wild. Anyway. Or maybe they just took minus telly off of rings or something. I don't remember. So it's not as easily swappable. I'd have to look again. But anyway, we found that. It's not important really at this point, but it may be useful later on. Sadly, we didn't really find anything particularly useful for the exact moment that we're in right now in this Elf 3. We did find Shield of Resistance, which would have been outrageous on most characters, but we happen to not need it. We also found the Manual of Armor, which would have been outrageously good for this character if we hadn't already married ourselves to stat form quite so hard. So, let's Control O and take a look at what our options are, and they're pretty limited now. Oh, hey, Man, what's up? That's PureMan709 as Man. For those of you who don't know, he's the only person in the DCS community that I believe rivals me when it comes to win streaking. He's got a very, very long streak of 51 wins. But yeah, I agree with that sentiment exactly. Man, you've never really seen quite so much of Reddit talking shit about the devs and their bad choices at the same time before. There was always pushback, but I've never seen quite so much of it. And they'll continue their unfortunate path of deriding any criticism as, well, that person's just a troll, or what a jerk that person is, you know, and that's the general MO, is like they act like everybody who dislikes the development direction of the game is essentially some kind of demon person. But that's a line of shit that I don't think is going to really fly as easily anymore among anybody who's paying attention. I mean, you're going to have people who, oh, don't insult the dev, don't criticize the devs, they make the game for free, that means you can't criticize them. I mean, you're always going to have those people, and whatever, those people, there's no way to have a conversation with those people because their brains are just turned off. But, yeah, Senshi, the stubbornness is hard to fathom, really, in a community-developed game, a game that's open source even. It is surprising that it's just this kind of, you know, middle finger to the player's face, like, no, just like, I'm pooping on your plate, that's what you're having for dinner, and if you don't like it, then it's your fault, buddy. You know, and it gets a little frustrating, that attitude, and it's existed for a while, but this particular version of the game is so outrageously bad, and the response and the justifications for some of the changes, or the response to and some of the justification for the various changes for this version, are so egregious that it's almost hard to believe. Yeah, man, I agree. I think the concept behind positional magic is interesting. I think you could have done cool and interesting things with it. I don't think it was implemented very well, you know, and I think some of the changes that were adjacent to it are completely crazy in terms of, like, they're not even consistent with the with the concept behind positional magic. Bolt of Hands is one of the big examples. Like, okay, well, we're going to take out all the bolts, but then we're going to change BVC to a bolt at the same time. Anyway, for this character, we've done vaults 1 through 4, so the only place that we have left to go is we could go into Crypt, which is branched off of vaults. We could go into Depths, which again I like to avoid until as late as possible. We could go into Slime, which I do believe this character can do now, although it might be kind of painful with stat form. Crypt is kind of a funny choice here. Weirdly enough, I think Crypt may be the easiest spot for this character right now. Slime is really interesting on a troll because if you're not a big armor troll, if you're a stat form troll, being in stat form and Slime can be downright horrifying. Especially against the boss of that branch, TRJ, or the Royal Jelly. Like, this character can basically do it. We've got the right tools for the job, but I really don't want to be in statue form. Although we could haste versus TRJ himself. Oh, hey, we got an acquirement at some point. Okay, let's use that real quick and see what we get. Tower Shield of Protection, that's would have been interesting. Let's examine this artifact book and see what it is. Irradiate's available. That could be really interesting. I forgot about Irradiate when I was getting rid of my conjurations, but we could maybe do some good stuff with that, even on this character. Yeah, amazing spell, and Pog as well. That amulet is incredible, by the way. Just a really, really good amulet. Solves our RC and RF problem forever, although it's already basically solved. That amulet solves it harder. And it also opens up we can take off our ring of RF and we can put on our core forever. It would be nice if I could get off of the screen and look at what my character has, but I don't. I think that's still kind of a screwy interface thing that you still can't do. I'd have to go into the dump, and I just don't. I think Amulet Statue Form Synergy is too good to pass up. Yeah, I agree. I don't even mind having Spirit on this character, so we're gonna acquire this. It's cursed because I'm worshipping Ashenzari, by the way. So yeah, this is gonna dump our int by 4. But that's fine. Let's remove curse on this ring and this amulet. Cool. Drop that amulet. Wear the our core, which will let us do slime. Wear the amulet. Cool. Recurse the Ring of Corrosion. Is statue form still castable? Goes to yellow, unfortunately, 6% because of the lack of the 4int. We're now at 8 intelligence, boys. It's, not good. Maybe take spellcasting to 6. We're training an awful lot of things at the same time. It's kind of painful. Maybe very painful. And deflect missiles is only 91%. Damn. And we can't rely on Brilliance to do that because they've ruined that too in 0.25. The message was you forgot to breathe. Well, they've taken away stat death, and now it's still pretty bad, but it won't kill you instantly. It'll paralyze you and make you slow forever until your stats come back. Anyway, let's go into Pits of Slime. So, the basic set of tools that you need to do slime super safely is our core, at least 1 pip of RC, and enough MR that you are immune to the Great Orb of Eyes. I'm looking that up by pressing !/M Great Orb, type that in, and if this reads 0% on the paralysis, then you've got enough MR to be safe in here. From MR threats anyway. Let's pull these guys up. Probably going to stay out of statue form for the time being. This is a good place to stat form, actually. Stat form is exceptionally dangerous in here because of the higher tier threats, which I'm sure we'll run into soon. Hey, there's one. Oh man, you know what we should do? We should take summonings to 5. Lightning Spire would be really good right now. Instead, we're just going to approach this dude. Damn, there's another one. Okay, that's fine. We're just going to try to melee these dudes. So notice how my corrosion is already minus 12. We could have very easily had a problem against those acid blobs, and I would have had to have started burning things like Scattershot. If we look at the acid blob, he hits for 42 damage in melee, and of course deals extra acid damage if damage is dealt. If I look and see exactly what that is, acid blob, it's a lot. Spit acid only does 3d7. The damage on the melee attack is 42 plus 3d7, but you have to remember that whenever you take acid damage, there's a secret extra amount of damage that happens on top of it, which differs based on whether it's a melee or a ranged attack. Yes, this is stupidly complicated, and yes, it should be reflected in the game, and no, the devs are not going to fix it anytime soon because they just don't care. But you can look it up. If I were to do acid, if I were to look it up in the info bot by typing acid, I think, acid 2, there it is, it's just acid. 43 for melee, and 45 for ranged acid attacks, so 20 damage. So they spit acid for 3d7, that's potentially 21. 21 plus 20 is 41. So 41 damage at ranged, or 42 plus 21 plus 20 at melee. On top of that, they are also speed 12. So in theory, they could get 2 of those off per turn. So assume that they can do about 82 damage to you per turn, assuming you don't have our core. And that's your worst case scenario. I always say to pay attention to the worst case scenario. That's how you streak. Let's pull this stuff up. Stat form this stuff. Go back out of stat form. AF. You can transform back into a troll whenever you want. Uh-oh! We've been memed. We went downstairs, there was a shining eye, and it immediately malmutated me. And I got minus int. We have... Oh, that's another resource you want to pay attention to. If you don't have any potions of mutation, you may consider not doing slime. I didn't look because I wasn't paying enough attention, but if that had been like teleportitis or something and I didn't have any potions of mutation, we would suddenly be in a real horrible place on this character. Let's just kill him. Let's go up. Stat form, kill this stuff. It's not the end of the world. It didn't really mess with our int that much. I'm just going to live with it, I think. I'll just be a real big dumb troll. One thing you can do, by the way, these guys try to be at range with you, so you could rest. Like, if you get corroded too bad, you could go upstairs, rest, go back down. If I get corroded again, I can rest, go back down. I'm corroded, but I'm pretty close now, so now we'll just try to melee him. Uh-oh! So what I'd like to do, even though the Spire is pretty, crap. You miscast Lightning Spire, you get mutated. Spire, there it is. Okay, so I put the Spire between me and the guy here, but I've kind of done it poorly. There we go. Now he can't mutate me again because the Spire's in the way. I do wish I had a less of a fail rate on my Lightning Spire, but whatever. Fortunately, I don't care if I shout, and I don't really care about armor fits poorly on my strangely shaped body, since all that does is makes the base armor rating half, so that goes to 2 instead of 4. But in stat form, it just doesn't matter, so whatever. There's not a whole lot I could have done to avoid some of those mutations. I mean, I've shown some of the strategies that you can use to avoid it, but this character doesn't have too many good ones because of the fact that SLS is high miscast rate. Hey, let's go up. Perfect, we get to fight these guys, but not the acid blob. Looks like we have a little bit of lag. Maybe Kelby's having a problem. My connection to Twitch looks like it's fine, so I'm guessing that it's just Kelby. Let's go down. This is your other big boy threat in Slime. These guys do a ton of cold damage. We'll just stat form and crush him, though. We have enormous, I wouldn't say enormous defenses, but pretty good defenses. The shield helps a lot, and most importantly, our cold resist is super high. Suddenly this tower shield looks less good, by the way, because of the fact that we have our C covered already, but there's nothing really... There's no good alternative. I mean, I'd rather have the huge SH that it affords me. Let's go down. Let's kill this ass. Whoops, didn't mean to move down one more time. There we go, he's dead. Anytime that you're hurt, rest on an upstairs here. So if something bad shows up, I will go up, and I'll be safe. Because I've cleared, to some degree, these floors. Nevertheless, I don't recommend that you clear the entire floor. There's no real reason to, unless you really want experience, and in general, being away from a staircase is super dangerous in here, so you'd rather not do that. You also don't want to give the game more chances to teleport you with an Explore Trap or shaft you with an Explore Shaft Trap. Not that that happens to me because of Ashenzari, but it's just a general rule of thumb, you know? I generally want to be not in stat form when I come down, just in case there's a... If there's a Shining Eye waiting for me, then I want to have fast actions so I can deal with him super fast. Non-mutation guys, the main reason... Rogue Shenanigans says the main reason I do as little of slime as possible. Yeah, that's another great reason not to explore the floors. I will explore Slime 4, though. And the reason is that I want to have access to as many staircases as possible when I'm going in and out of Slime 5. We got real lucky, and there are, in fact, 2 right here, so I don't need to waste a bunch of dig charges to try to get in here or whatever. Oh, did I fail to stat form? Yeah, I did. Okay, gonna attack, pull this stuff up. Now, even though I'm a big, dumb, slow troll and it took me 3.8 turns to get up, you'll notice that despite the fact that this dude, in the process of that, got next to me, he didn't actually come up with me. If they are not physically right next to you when you start the action to go upstairs, they won't come. Eating a lot of rations here. I get hungry fast as a troll. Hello! The Shining Eye turns its gaze towards you. Okay, we're not fooling around. We're going to use the file. Good. They're between me and him, so I can't be mutated. It's too bad that that's been nerfed and trunk, and there will never be water elementals from files again. This is a lot of stuff. Let's wait. Let's wait. Okay, pull up. Oh! That is real weird. I don't actually know why... Okay, I know what happened. So I wanted to know why the Azure Jelly didn't come up with me. They switched places, because if you look at Azure Jelly, and you look at Acid Blob, Azure Jelly has a hit die of 15, Acid Blob has a hit die of 18. So the thing with the higher hit dice will try to swap places and get in front. And that's why he didn't follow me up the staircase. You don't see that too often. Let's go down the other staircase, because that was just too much crap, basically. Stat form. It's perhaps a mistake to be in stat form against those guys, but it's fine. Let's pull this dude up. Kill things way faster in stat form. Ah, damn it! Dex -2. All these cool mutations. I can't file again. I could do... See, this is like... It's awkward positioning. I think if I put the Spire here, he can't get me. I know for a fact if it's a straight line, then we're good to go. We're just going to let the Spire kill him if possible. Nope. Put it up again. Like, I don't care how long it takes. My horrible spell power means the Spire is bad, but that's fine. Anything to avoid getting a nasty mutation, you know? Wow, we just one-shotted him You eviscerate the acid blob. I tell you, having stone claws is quite nice. Really not bad at all. So what are we doing here? We're basically just like depleting the floor. Because there is a boss fight coming up. Shout uncontrollably at your foes is a big yikes. Not really. I don't care about waking stuff up. It's fine. What am I, sneaking around? I'm a troll. I'm a big boy. So we're shouting a lot anyway on purpose. Trying to get some attention. There's a jelly. Backing up, backing up. Remember, this thing is slightly faster than me, so he will get attacks on me as I go away. Just clearing out the floor. Minus 16 corrosion there, damn. Yeah, you're thinking of Berserk. Alright, there's the royal jelly. Why did I just try to right-click him? What am I having an aneurysm? Okay, I went and I did XV over him. So this guy, he has a lot of hit points, 231. He hits like a absolute truck. We could have some issues with him potentially, but what we're basically going to do is not fight him right now. He does move significantly faster than me, by the way. I think speed 15, maybe? Go up. He will not follow me up the stairs. He'll just kind of slap me. He doesn't want to leave his throne room, so to speak. Golden Eyes. These guys are horrible if you have bad MR. It's why you cannot go into this branch safely without big MR. But we're straight up immune to confusion, so no big deal. We also have big MR. Let's go down. Let's go to the staircase here. Oh, I don't have any corrode yet. Surprising. Okay, we'll just melee this guy. Okay, so the goal is to deplete the floor until you get to the point where you can kind of go in here, this little center area, and not have too much resistance, you know? Okay, so Ashenzari is being a real champion here and letting me know that that's a nasty sensed monster. I mean, I could just go ahead and scry, actually. Boom, hey. I pretty much knew it was TRJ anyway, though, since it was nasty, and that's based on hit dice. So what we're going to do is we're going to buff up. Okay, we're going to... Oh, we have 4 potions of haste. That's not bad. We're going to haste. He's coming to me. Do we have nets? We have 1 net. So fingers crossed on that working out for us. Nets are a really integral part of the strategy. I'm going to use Might. We're gonna... Sadly, Agi doesn't exist anymore. Only Potion of Stabbing. I mean... Yeah, okay, fine, I'll stab. Okay, really dumb potion. He still doesn't see me, so I might as well... I guess I'll Brilliance? Okay. Let's net him. This is the position we want to be in right here. I think I'd probably like to be in statue form. Cool. Now, I could attack him and maybe get a big boy stab on him, but what I really want to do is not... I want to not take actions that don't surround him with things, so we're going to use that. Alright, so this is a pain, because we don't have nets anymore, and we didn't get a chance to put another guy right here. So we have our friendly Royal Jelly due to the Phantom Mirror, but he's got an ally here, so he will switch spots with his ally and try to run away if he gets hurt enough, so this is really bad. I suppose I could Vuln and then Para to try to paralyze him, but that's silly. I think we just go for the kill. I mean, we're hitting like a truck. 3 exclamation points, hell yeah. And my Royal Jelly is beating the hell out of the Royal Jelly. Huge, huge number of allies. So every time you hit him, every time he takes damage, more oozes and stuff will pop out of him. This is why we're fighting him in this very particular position. The idea is to put summons, like I said, to block those from ending up next to him. Attack him again. The haste potion is doing a lot of work for us here. Because notice how fast my attacks are, even in statue form. Hit him again, hitting like a truck. Thank you, Might. Hit him again. Hit him again, and he dies. As soon as he dies, all of these little rock walls fall apart, and you can get to the loot. Okay, let's use Telly. Just melee some of this stuff. So, does your TRJ make slimes too? That's a good question. I know at one point it made slimes that were actually hostile to you, which was a big meme. Obviously not ideal. I don't know if that happens anymore. Now, unfortunately, these summoned jellies, they don't have the summoning. Like, they're not durably summoned, they're not undurably summoned, they just kind of exist, right? But they don't give experience, so. Can you rebind the unarmed key? What do you mean the unarmed key? Like when you go to press wield and then you press dash? I don't think so. Well, you could make a macro. You could make a macro where you press one key and what it actually does is W dash. You could do that. There's a Lamp of Fire. Really good item, really fun item, really interesting tactical item which has been removed in Trunk. Okay, okay. Tower Shield of Reflection. If I had a million enchant armors, that might be worth using. Identified Scroll of Brand Weapon. We won't be getting any use out of that today. Can't brand my claws. Pro Fire, we do not need that. Manual of Shields. I guess I'll take that with me, but it's very unlikely that we'll be training shields further because we don't need to. With that said, if I did, I think you can get a few points of SH from that, even going past Mendeley. You know, because like if I look at the shield, because I'm a big boy, I only need 15 to remove the penalty. Very rare for somebody to want to go further than what's required to remove the penalty, but I mean, maybe. We'll see. There's the Scroll of Silence. I wish I had had that sooner. Okay, so interesting loot. Not bad loot. Oh, let's enchant our troll leather armor. I could go ahead and curse my regular cloak, which would give me armor skill, which would be good for when I'm not in statue form. We have a scroll of remove curse. We have several, yeah. Yeah, let's curse the cloak and the hat, why not? We still have 4 remove curses, so we're good. And then we'll just enchant the cloak. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll train armor to like 5. It's a little silly since we're going to be in stat form for the most part, but there's no real reason not to get some value out of it, you know? Because we may not be in statue form all the time. Alright, yeah, cool. That felt strangely unrewarding, it says. Okay, so there's our 3 runes. Technically that means we could win the game right now, but that's not... Obviously we don't want to go bum rush Zot right now, that'd be very, very bad. But that's all the lair branches are done, very cool. Now Vaults 5 holds a rune for us right now. I think this character has a rough time in Vaults 5. We could make it work, but I'm just saying it's not going to be easy. It could be, depending on how the floor looks. Why don't we... You know what? Yeah, let's... Why did I just go stat form? Whoops. Let's go Vaults 4. Let's see if we can just take out Vaults right now. Technically, the right thing to do is to go into Vaults 4 right now instead of Vaults 5. Or sorry, go into Vaults 3 and then go into Crypt. And that would give us more experience basically for free. However, I may want to swap to TSO on this character. And if I do that, I'm gonna want the piety from killing all the undead in there. There's a hatch here, so we could do the sneaky play here. How are we doing on demissile? 75% fail. Okay, we have demissile up. That's not bad. Yeah, JF Karen, I am playing online. I'm playing on Kelby, which is also lagging a good bit. Let's go down. Okay, so we've been memed a little bit. So I wanted to go down here, and I wanted to sort of safely pull things up one by one. And instead, I'm faced with the Vault Warden meme. So if I do anything other than go up right now, he's fairly likely to lock the door on me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to... Will he walk into the clouds? I don't know if he may not. So we don't want to cloud him yet because our... Okay, you know what we'll do? We're going to lamp. Didn't quite hit him. Alright, this is cool. We're just going to... He didn't lock the door, so we're going to go up. Ooh, that's ugly. There's an Annihilator here. Yeah, see, this is already looking kind of ugly. This could end extremely poorly for me, especially in statue form. However, we do have 2 Blink Scrolls, which is not terrible. And we do have a Silent Scroll, and we do have a Scatter Shot. Let's go down. He didn't lock the door. He didn't lock the door, although this is also super dangerous because, guess what? Dispersal Trap, so we could be pulled right off the staircase. So what I like to do here, if possible, is this little strategy where I go down, I go up, I go down, I go up, I pull stuff, and eventually I just win. But there's a lot of things right now, like this T-Mons can constrict me, stopping me from going up. This Vault Warden can lock the door, but most importantly, the most dangerous thing is this Dispersal Trap that could just, like, send me out into the ass end of nowhere, and I'm in stat form, so I'm very slow. The Vault Warden activates a Sealing Rune, so if I go back down, it will be locked. So you know what? We're gonna go... We're making an executive decision here is what we're doing. We're gonna try for the hatch. This is like teleporting, basically. This is not a bad position to be in. I kind of want to train a little stealth, actually. Why don't I take that to 5? Ashenzari is gonna affect that now. Oh, this is weird. Yo, I'm confused. Troll leather armor is enchanted. What in the hell? Why am I not getting a bonus to armor? And instead I'm getting a bonus to dodging and stealth. I guess troll leather armor is considered light. I guess you have to have cursed plate armor on to get that benefit. Oh well, that's fine. I kind of like the dodging stealth anyway because of stat form, you know? See, I kind of wish I had gotten a little more stealth here before we came down here because the strategy is really, whenever you take the hatch, you really want to be able to be a little bit sneaky here. I do have sticks to snakes though. That can bail me out of bad situations. So the idea when you do the hatch play or the teleport play or, you know, whatever play you want to do to get somewhere that's not the center is the idea is to get into a corner or somewhere where you can only fight like one thing at once. It's based on ER. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Look at Man knowing stuff. Swamper Acid is the lightest that gives some armor. I see. That makes sense. Well, it's good for us anyway, although I don't know if that actually... What's funny is I think if I go into statue form, the dodge bonus might go away. Alright, this is perfect, almost. I don't necessarily want to be in stat form here, but I think I'm gonna. I can check that, by the way. Hey, I do keep the dodge bonus. Cool. D-Missile's still up. I feel pretty safe against these things, even though there is an A-Lich. So we're just going to try to fight things one at a time in this little corner. And I could buff up, it's just that I'm very low. Like, I had extremely bad luck in terms of buffs. Like, I don't have very many hastes at all. I don't have very many mites. I don't think this character has used much of those, but I think I got memed anyway. Hey guys, let's use a potion of stabbing real quick. They're so good. They're definitely not terrible. attack this guy. He can do 144 damage to me, but we do have silence if he happens to have that spell book, which he probably doesn't. Okay, we just killed him. That's cool. Just a casual 4 exclamation point attack. No big deal. Okay. One thing we can do here, which is great, is we can lamp this direction. So anything that shows up... Actually, we got every single tile. Cool. So anything that shows up is going to be having a hell of a time. More concerned about the dragon than the priest, because the priest is next to me. He's just going to smite me. The dragon can do more damage. Baffled by the existence of Potion of Stabbing. It's because Pleasing Fungus is back developing, and Pleasing Fungus is notorious for having just insanely dumb ideas about crawl development. His last big claim to fame was Shadow Traps, which got... it only got into the game in one version, basically because despite everybody telling him it was a terrible idea, he just insisted on putting it into the game, and in the very next version it was taken out. Because it was just, it made the experience of playing DCSS basically intolerable. So you would think after that they would say, well, you know, this guy's ideas are not very good, you know, but it is what it is, I guess. Okay. I don't care about this Orb of Eyes being next to me. In fact, I like it, because he only hits for 20, and otherwise he tries to cast things on me that I just straight up resist. So we'll kill the other stuff. Interesting. Charms, air. Let me see how I'm doing on D-Missile. 56%. Let's try to get that below 50, just for my own sanity, and also for the fact that the increased spell power means that it's less likely to drop, I think. Or wait, is that not the case? I was educated on this by somebody the last time I cast D-Missile. Spell power affected something, didn't affect something that I thought it affected. And I can't remember what it was. No, it was the chance of it deflecting something is the same. The chance of it being taken off is affected by spell power, but the chance of it actually... Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so yeah. This is really important for, like, mid-combat. I don't want to be casting D-Missile again, so we are going to keep training that a bit. We'll also take fighting to 15. Okay, cool. Alrighty, this Lich is next to me. Hopefully it's not LCS. Still don't know the book. We have D-Missile and a big old shield, though, so it's very unlikely that we suffer too badly. Stat form is ending. Let's just kill stuff until it ends. It ended. Stat form again. So that's painful with a Titan next to us. Lamp has recharged mid-combat, so let's just Lamp. Kill the Titan. Okay, this guy's really important to kill fast, because Entropy Weaver can take my AC down, and my Slay bonus, actually. Luckily, we just kill him. I'm not doing anything to this Etten, he's just kind of dying on his own in the cloud. I stopped for a second there because I was thinking, do I want to kill the warrior, or the Vault Guard rather, because the priest was there and he could have started hellfiring me if I didn't have a reasonably sized enemy next to me. But I ended up deciding that he would just die in the fire. Now normally this strategy would be super safe, but we're playing in kind of a bastardized version of Trunk right now, where regen doesn't exist anymore, so it makes this fight actually kind of annoying. So I've decided that the jank way of sustaining now is to use Vamp Drain. It's not really working though in stat form. I take more damage than I'm getting back. God, I hate this version. You're just not going to see me play Trunk again. You're not going to see me play 0.25. It's just too... I may participate in the 0.25 tournament just to, you know, just to win it. Just to annoy the hell out of the devs, but it's not really worth the time investment, I don't think. Okay, spending as few turns as possible next to the Annihilator. And we kill him. But anyway, they actually were so mad about well, they don't like anybody who has an opinion that counters theirs, right? So they don't like Man very much either. So one petty thing that they did during the .24 tournament is refuse to mention the fact that he was one of the people who made DCSS history by, over the course of the tournament, streaking every single race and every single background. Like he got the vaunted 24 streak, which is the highest tournament legal streak that is possible, because you're not allowed to repeat any races or backgrounds. It's quite an accomplishment as far as DCSS is concerned, but you know, ordinarily that would have gotten a mention, but they just refused to say his name. So the politics of this game are really petty. I actually splatted my streak. It was on a different account. I think I got to like 20-ish, and then I just tabbed directly into a Titanic slime in a hallway because I was not paying attention. Part of it was that I wasn't streaming or recording, so I was completely lax. Wolf spiders are no joke. Yeah, wolf spiders are really strong, especially if they're berserked. Especially when you're first coming to meet them. You know, like when you first get to spider or whatever. Even in stat form early on, you're going to want to be careful about them. Anyway, so what we did was we fought for a real long time down here, okay? And then once stuff stopped coming to us, we just kind of started exploring the level, because at this point the level is kind of depleted. Wolf spiders in lair are pretty scary. Oh, that's horrifying, yeah. Hey, there's our first fire dragon scale. So if we had found something like that earlier, you might have seen me make some decisions about whether I wanted to use it or not. I probably would have used it. But that's our first non-swamp dragon scale. I guess we found shadow and ice too, but I mean, it's just too little too late. We're already a stat form guy. We happen to have found stat form, so it is what it is. I think we made the right decision. You can technically rock swamp dragon armor for a really long time in this game as a troll if you really need to. But it's kind of a question of like, do you want to? Okay, I'm gonna end transformation. Oh, hello, Hellion. Take a step, rest. I guess I'll just kill him. Oh no. Oh no. We are in one-shot territory. Because he happens to have summoned a Brimstone Fiend. If he were to torment me right now, we would go to 90, yeah, he's being a huge jerk. He would go to 92 hit points, and then if he were to use his Iron Shot, I want to say that's over 100 hit points, or Force Lance. It doesn't matter what book he has out of the two that are remaining, both can one-shot me in the worst-case scenario, which is a huge pain. It's not super likely, you know, like the Brimstone Fiend may not even torment me, he may try to walk towards me, the Lich may not even Iron Shot or Force Lance me, but it's possible. And so if I want to guarantee that I don't die, the only thing I can do to guarantee that is to either blink or silence. If I want to roll the bones a little bit, I could Holy Word, and that's really, really likely to keep me alive. I cannot scattershot this dude to kill him instantly because he has a little bit of AC. He has 2 pips, and so, like, while it's reasonably likely, like, it could kill him instantly, it's not guaranteed. Another thing we could potentially do is File of Floods him, putting a dude between me and him. But that won't necessarily work. We could just cast Blink, which is extremely likely. Well, no, it's not extremely likely, because it could put... There's a lot of tiles that are bad, actually. I could Blink into a place that's worse, in fact. Man, this is obnoxious. We could take a step down, I guess. That's guaranteed to keep me alive at least for 1 turn, so I'll do that. Unfortunately, I wanted him to stat form. Yeah, stat form would guaranteed keep me alive at least for 1 turn. That's true. Because I would get a huge hit point boost. I would get a I would get R negative plus. I would get an inherent resistance to torment as well. Of course, it would make this horrible going forward. Although it doesn't take away my ability to just kind of silence after that. So yeah, let's do that. And then we'll just swing. Yeah, we can't die now in one turn. Stat form was... That was what I was going to end up doing anyway. I just wanted to kind of talk through the thought process. Because, like, you want to be very careful. I also wanted to take my time thinking about it, because you want to be very careful about going into stat form in those situations, because you're creating a situation where, like, now you're married to it, you know? Like, you are stuck in that situation way harder than you were a minute ago, because now every one of your actions is way slower. So I only did that because I happen to have a silence scroll. If I didn't have a silence scroll, I probably wouldn't have done that, because blink scroll's not good enough when you're a slow statue, I don't think. I was willing to tab that Lich, by the way, because I saw him cast Haunt, and the Haunt book is not dangerous. For this character, anyway. Whoops. But yeah, D-Missile Large Shield is really, really good. So notice how I'm going around the corner and shouting. Spend as few turns as possible in the line of sight of that priest. Let's go stat form. Cool. Cool. I'll drop this ring. Drop this, whoops. Drop this Ring of Wizardry. Jory the Bloodstained Count. What's up, my brother? I guess I'll just infuse real quick, something I haven't been doing because it's not all that useful. Spire. Jory High... Yeah, it's Jory High Roller. I don't have anything to turn into a snake. That's why I was carrying arrows. I completely forgot. I blanked on that, and then I dropped those earlier. Let's just kill him out of stat form, because he can high roll really big iron shots, or crystal spears at you, rather. Hitting me like a truck. I don't have our elect outside of stat form. Anyway, we explode him. We do not need his ring. Let's go get our arrows back. There's not a time when I'm gonna not want sticks to snakes. I really memed myself by dropping those. Tab through these easy things. Got the rune. I'm gonna be in statue form versus the dragon because I really don't want to be Bolt of Drained. Oh, whoops. Let's fight this. I dropped something over here I want to have a look at. I didn't pick up something. Oh, what was it? Yeah, whatever. Let's drop some stuff. We're at 52 items. Okay, let's get rid of enslavement. Paralysis is better in many situations, not all, but many. Let's drop our enchant armor. I shouldn't need any more for the rest of the game. It's not impossible that we found a really good tower shield of, like, protection, but it's not likely. I could drop a manual of shields until I'm ready to train more SH, which is probably going to be never. Oh, we're just training fighting. How's our spellcasting going? 32% T-Missile. Okay. Hey, D-Missile dropped. Cast it again. Could be good to get that a little higher. It's still pretty prone to just kind of dropping, you know, at the wrong moment. Hey, lightning rod, that's an amazing item. Surprised they haven't removed that from trunk. But I believe that's one of the few ones that's stuck around in favor of the vaunted trimmer stones. Okay, identify... Oh, hey, potion of experience. You usually don't get to see these. I'll drink that. Cool. Get intelligence. Drop amulet of regen. Don't need that. Although it is a better item now that regen is gone. Ah, it was a potion of magic that I dropped. I do actually want those. Okay, look at everything on the floor with Control F dot, like this. Scrolling through here, looking for things that I care about, I see nothing. Yep, I see nothing. Okie dokie. Doing good, doing well. I like where this character is going. Suppose I could use that Shield of Reflection. Now that we don't have Reflection Ammi on. Wonder if I should take off our core in favor of the RF plus RLEC, just so I can have RLEC outside of stat form and also have the plus int. The R core probably makes me overall more defensive in stat form. And we also, I assume, have potions of resistance? We have 3. Yeah, that's probably the correct course of action. Because it's kind of dangerous to not have RLEC outside of stat form, and more importantly, I really want my intelligence, which has -4 from this ring, so it's pretty bad, basically. Pretty bad. So... And I have to use this ring because it's where all my MR is coming from. If you can get all your MR from one item, you probably want to use it. Like, yeah, we could switch to Shield of Resistance, but do I really want to? Okay. Okay, yeah, let's do this. So, remove curse, 5 scrolls. Just on the ring of our core. Clear this thing, curse this thing. Let's drop the R core, it's fine. Should have probably checked hats and cloaks first in case, but nope, there's nothing. Alrighty, we have 4 runes. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. So at this point, this is the point in most games where I would, if I hadn't done crypts yet, I'd probably go do it. Then I would just roll into depths, then I would roll into Zot, and then I would just win the game. But in these tutorials, I've been doing 15 runes just to sort of demonstrate how it's done on different characters. So. Oh, hey, we do have Necromute. I just realized that. We really need to start thinking about how it is we're going to do extended. What's the indicator that you can clear crypts? Well, crypts is usually really easy to do as soon as you find it. If you have a 1 pip of R negative, then it's fairly free. You just need to play it carefully is all. Like if you can survive vaults, okay? If you're good enough to be in vaults and you have some resist negative, you're probably good enough to do crypt. You just need to have a way of killing cursed skulls basically, and you need to have a way of dealing with ancient liches. I would say crypts is significantly easier than V5 personally. Hey Icy Curves, this is Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. It's a traditional roguelike, kind of a whatever the opposite of casual gaming is. This is it. It's like ancient games, you know, where you have to be really good at the game to win it. Anyway, while I would like to do crypt to get the loot that's in the bottom, and I'd like to get the experience from killing the stuff in it, we really need to decide how we're going to do extended first. because if we're doing extended, it's often best to leave Crypt until you swap to the Shining one, because the Shining one gives you experience, or sorry, gives you piety when you kill undead, so it's a way to kind of skyrocket your way into max piety. But with that said, I don't think we... Man, I actually think we stick with Ashenzari for all of extended, which is gonna be obnoxious as hell, and we may have to farm up some experience to get Necromutation online, because there's basically no scenario where I want to do extended without Necromutation unless I'm worshipping TSO. You do one or the other. It's not necessary, but you're going to have an incredibly unfun time. And I tell you, Tomb itself is going to be a horrifying experience in using Lignification and hoping you don't die. Yeah, Ash Penance is awful. I'm actually, man, it's funny because I thought about that, and I'm way more concerned about the fact that Ash is going to take away my skill bonuses. So it's going to make me less of a caster. Chabriato's swap is a cute idea. I guess that would make up for the lack of skills, from leaving Ashenzari, but it will also make my extended into a truly horrific experience. So I think what we're going to do is we're probably going to stick with Ashenzari. We're probably going to train our necromancy up to, 15. The aptitude is -2, so it's not abysmal. Ash Penance is, let's see, Ashenzari Wrath. It just makes all the enemies know where you are all the time. It also gives you -4 to all your skills on top of losing the bonus, that you once had. So basically we wouldn't be casting a goddamn thing for a really long time. Really, really bad experience. So I don't think we want to fool with that. No, you're thinking of Hepleikana Wrath. Hepleikana takes away your experience gain. Ashenzari does not actually do that, but it decreases your skills to the point where it feels like you aren't gaining experience, basically. Is there anything that I can transfer knowledge from, by the way? Doesn't look like there's anything that I would want to give up. Oh, hey, I could give up polearms. Yeah, let's do that. Transfer knowledge from polearms. I just must have started with that as a wanderer. It's a necromancy. Okay, now, do I have Von Clutch? Is that available? No, it's not. Is it anywhere in a book that we could buy? Nope. Okay, so if that's the case, if we're sticking with Ashenzari, that means I could do Crypt now. Just for the items, just for the experience. I should be able to pretty much tab this place in stat form. There's not too much in here that I'm afraid of as a stat form troll. Hey, there's the thing I'm afraid of. He hasn't noticed me. I'm so sneaky as a statue. So he can torment you. That takes away half your hit points. Less if you have a little bit of R negative, and less if you're in stat form, and nothing at all if you're in necromutation. He also summons undead. Typically you go into tree form to beat these guys, but I was already next to him, so I just kind of beat his ass in stat form. The reduction in damage from torment that stat form gives is not really good enough to just kind of tab into things when they have torment. Something to keep in mind. Ooh, I'm slow. Luckily I'm in a quasi-hallway here, so not too much damage to take. One annoying thing about extended on this troll is that I'm potentially going to have a food problem. But if I can get necromutation online, I will no longer have that problem, since I won't need to eat as a lich. Didn't really expect myself setting out on this character to be a lich form troll. It's not really something that happens often, but I wonder how Ghoul does extended. I don't think I've ever done extended on a Ghoul. The food situation is so dumb with them that I feel like you'd have to leave little refrigerators of of living things all over the place. Yep, that is correct, man. Do you lose claws, mutation, and necromutation? No, you get draining claws. Which is some real PogChamp action there, you know? What can I drop? What should I drop? Ash Penance is like being mini-marked all the time. Well, I mean, what I would do about it is just go into Abyss for a good long while, but I mean, it's not that bad on Abyss 1. It's just I would need to somehow have Necromutation on anyway, basically, to have the food to survive that, since it would take a really long time. Unless I got lucky and ran into a bunch of Raijus or something to eat. The little electric dog guys. Anyway, that is Marjorie. She'll bolt me, no problem. I have RF plus. However, there is yeah, that's Minas. Chilling out with evil guys for some strange reason. He can silence, so you gotta be really careful about him. We're gonna go up to get out of his silence. We're gonna put the statue form back on. We can just melee him to death, though, is the thing, so I'm not super worried. Let's go up. Ready up the statue form so it has maximum. Okay, good. Maybe he has enchanted large shield. Nope, just a regular large shield. Just melee him, and he dies. Very easy on this character. Incredibly difficult for certain other characters, but this guy just crushes them. There are 3 floors to Crypt. It's way too long for what it is. I think that Crypt should just be 1 floor, personally. Okay, we could get tormented here. Let's go back into stat form. He's decided not to torment me, and we basically just like chill out until he's next to us, and there he is, and then we kill him. That's how you deal with a Cursed Skull. On other characters, you might just go into tree form, you know? So you're totally immune. Tower shield, yeah. This is Mara, one of the most powerful uniques in the game. We just completely bowl through him. GG Mara. This character has definitely hit his, close to his maximum strength. He's real strong at this point. There's a few things we could get that would make him stronger. Stat form alone is great. We already have that, but Val Clutch would be good. Mara just sometimes stands there and does nothing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Mara occasionally, like, she could have possibly given me some trouble by cloning me and using the clone to attack me, but why am I saying she? Mara is male, based on an actual demon in, I think Hindu mythology, maybe? I'd have to look it up. But yeah, there are times when he just kind of chills out. But yeah, there's really nothing much going on Crypt 1 and 2. Once you get to Crypt 3, that's where the fun is, and the loot, the real loot piles, you know? Which is why this is pretty much always worth doing, unless your character is just so strong and you don't want to do extended and you just want to go win, then it's probably okay not to do it, but technically it's optimal to do it every single game because of the loot pile. Okay, how's Necromute coming along? 95%? What am I trading? Just Necromancy? That's correct. I guess I'll take that to 17. Why is that 95%? Wow. I guess it's 2 levels higher than stat form. Mara's the one unique from mythology you wouldn't mind being gender bended. I mean, I think if something's based on mythology, it should, you know, it's just like lazy and boring to change the sex of it. You know, if you're like, oh, I'm making a political statement, like, okay, I don't care. It's like it's a real It's a real myth. Although I would understand from a romance language perspective, it is a little obnoxious because things that end with A typically are considered feminine in English and other romance languages. Things that end with like US, for example, are generally male. Alright, Rogue Shenanigans. Let's not get my Twitch account banned. Is what a real fact. Well, I mean, what I was referring to just now was Sojobo, which I believe is a Japanese myth about a male Tengu. I think they're called. Or maybe it's Kinku? Either a bird person or a person wearing a bird mask. Is considered the Tengu queen in this game, and it annoys the hell out of me because it's, you know, it's an actual figure from mythology, and they changed the sex of it because they thought it was like a cool political statement, which I find to be asinine. You know, it's like you want to put a female character into the game, and it's new. Okay, cool, fine. Like, Bai Susan, one of the coolest uniques in the game. Nobody bitched when that character was put into the game because it was a cool concept, it was a cool backstory, it was a cool set of mechanics, actually really, really unique, and the character happened to be female. Nobody cared. It was great. But then when you go and you change existing uniques around because you think you're being clever, or you think you're making some kind of grand, you know, slacktivist sort of political statement, that's when I start rolling my eyes at you, you know. Names ending in A tend to be feminine. Yeah, I think so. Is that not the case? In English, anyway. In English-speaking countries, I mean. It's not always true, but that's how I've always thought of it. In, you know, like in Spanish, for instance, muchacha versus muchacho, like they've got A's on the end of feminine words and O's on the end of masculine words. And in Latin, like I was saying, like if it was a US on the end, you know, then it was considered a masculine word. So I think the whole name situation is just kind of an extension of that. Anyway, this is I think it's called the Evil Forest ending of Crypt. Most of it's pretty easy. You know, like we just fought a bunch of necrophages. Ooh, so scary. Find more necrophages back here. Very simple stuff. The ghouls kind of are good in melee. Those guys I just killed. Yeah, Menace is here pretty often. I don't think it's guaranteed, though. I think he is more likely to spawn here than many other places. There's going to be a graveyard over here. This is like a hard set map, so it's going to look the same every time. It might be rotated. In here you'll find some tough zombies, easy enough to kill. You'll find some Ushabtis, those little urn guys that we were fighting just now. They have Dispel Undead, so be careful if you're undead. They also can spit out miasma on you, which is dangerous, slowing and poison, but we don't care because we're stat form, so we're immune. Greater Mummy, this could be super dangerous. Actually, I screwed this up. Let's teleport. Stat form. I probably could have just duked it out with him, but I didn't want to roll the dice. Anyway, wow, we don't have very many tele scrolls. How are we doing on food? 59 rations? There's tons for sale as well. Okay. Probably train spellcasting to 10-ish. Okay, so there's always going to be 2 cursed skulls in this little lake at the end here. So I went up one tile to kind of make him walk towards me without being able to see me. Then I went stat for him, and now I'll just kill him. He chose not to. He chose not to torment me. Then I shouted to get the other one close to me. Good thing we were farming Abyss for 1,000 years to get Necromute up. I don't think it'll be necessary. We're already at 89%. I think we can get there just with Depths. Depths has a ton of experience, and so does Zot. So I think we're going to be just fine on Necromute. The only thing that makes me sad here is that I don't have I don't have Vow Clutch, although we do have the other Necronomicon spells like Haunt and, more importantly, Infestation. So we could have some fun with that. Yeah, 27 heads is the max a unique Hydra can have. I think regular Hydra's the max is 20, although they never really spawn with 20 as far as I know. They can be built up to that with your weapon though, if you were to cut the head off enough times without using flaming. A funny meme is to cut the heads off a Hydra on purpose until it gets to 20, then kill it, then turn it into a skeleton. It's almost never really a thing that you need to do, but it's just kind of funny that it's possible. Oh yeah, sometimes special vaults will place many-headed Hydras. That sounds super risky. It is. That's why you shouldn't do it. Alright, back to the graveyard. Tap through these easy zombies. Take a rest. You're not going to find too much experience in Crypt, by the way. It's mostly for the items. Like, there'll be some. Alright, we'll shout. This is the entrance to Tomb. God damn it. And there's going to be really tough Tomb enemies here. Like, this is one of the hardest monsters in the game, and there's a bunch of them in Tomb. They have a lot of hit points, almost 200. They can smite you, they can hit you reasonably hard, they can summon a bunch of crap. Most importantly, these scarabs, which can slow you and do a ton of damage. Also scorpions, which are not half bad. Mostly they just stand in front while they proceed to torment a million times, taking your hit points away very quickly. See how he's chunked me a bit? Luckily in stat form I am in a better place versus that stuff. Okay, did we find anything good in here? Probably not. Not really. Sometimes you'll get a nice big stack of rings in here. It's more likely to have a bunch of rings here than anything else, but I think it's only the other ending of this, the one that looks like a big fortress. I mean, this kind of looks like a fortress, but you know the one I'm talking about with the water all around it. I think there's guaranteed to be good rings in there, and maybe in the skull as well. Anyway, this one is the one that has the grates, that has loot piles back here. You may have seen me digging out the grates so I could get to that stuff. There's two of those. But yeah, that's the whole floor. Didn't get anything that useful, unfortunately. But that's okay. If I do Control O now, we see that we basically have all of one place to go, which is Depths. Technically, we could enter Tomb right now, but I'm not feeling suicidal today, so I'm not going to do that. I am going to turn on Transfer Knowledge, and we're going to get rid of Axes, because we surely don't need that. And we'll put that into, I don't know, whatever, spellcasting is fine. Thank you, Ashenzari, for letting me do that stuff. Do I have a Radiate? No, I don't. Okay. I guess we'll do Depths. Actually, check it out. Let's, where did we leave our big stack of arrows? There was a huge one that we left somewhere. 75 piles. Oh, you're not going to tell me, are you? It's not going to show me all 75, is it? Oh wait, no, there it is. It's an Elf 3. Let's go grab that real fast, just so we know we have a ton of castings of 6 to snakes. Based and snake pilled, it's true. And like I was saying, technically we don't need Necromutation to beat Extended on a non-TSO character, it's just we would really like to have it. Okay, what happened here? Hold up. You have a vision of multiple gates. There's no gates? What are you talking about? Oh, it's probably entrances to hell. Let's pull these guys up. These guys are really dangerous, but not really for me, because I have good defenses now. And I have Aralek. D-missile dropped, so we recast it. Go back down, tab, tab, tab. There's food again. Delicious, delicious fire giants. Cool. You can mostly tab through depths, but I mean, potentially dangerous, you know? So I can't just like, I can't turn my brain completely off tabbing in here. If I were to run into like a Caustic Shrike pack, we could have some serious issues. Man, I'm getting kind of hungry in real life, not on my troll. I think what I'll do is I'll finish up depths, and then I'll probably pause the stream and then do some Slay the Spire afterwards. That'll be pretty good. Okay, cool. Okay, so this guy's gonna bust up the kill hole that he just made, but that's fine. Because we kill him and then we just go inside and kill everything. Kinda cool. Yetton, of course, is not a problem for this character. Occasionally, well, once per depths, you will find an entrance to a ziggurat. This one happens to be surrounded by grates, so we'll dig it out with the Wand of Digging. Ziggurat is post-game content, but it's also kind of like a free pile of loot. We can do about 5 to 10 floors of that pretty safely on this character, so we'll be going in there sooner or later. Maybe sooner than later. We really need... We're really hungry for buffs on this character. Like, we really have been ripped off a bit on our number of hastes, our number of mites, and so on and so forth. We do have 2 cancellations, that's alright. 5 mute now, that's cool. It's a lot of invis potions? Is it? Oh, 5. Yeah, that's an enormous amount of invis potions. A resource I don't care about that much, although it can be useful and extended. Yeah, ziggurats were in fact made worse in this version because they took out the glaciate spell. So, you know, they added in this spell that admittedly is incredibly broken, called Absolute Zero, which just kind of instant kills the closest thing next to you. It's hilariously bad. They added player ghost floors. Back in Chaos Ghostland. Yeah, that's obnoxious as hell. Yep, they took out glaciate. And they added something that is like the least balanced thing I've seen in my life. But it's as unbalanced as the new spell is. It's not good for the purposes of ziggurats compared to glaciate. Ring of Phasing. Yeah, Absolute Zero. It's short for Absolute Zero thought went into this spell. Man, Ring of Phasing is really good on this character. Do I dare to have 4 less intelligence? Probably not. I really need the intelligence for necromutation. That's interesting though. If I could solve my int problem somehow. Alrighty, take these 2 sacks. Buy the Wand of Clouds as well. Okay, interesting. That is interesting. We could, in theory, swap this amulet out, get Aralek and MR++ from the same source, be able to get rid of this cursed ring with MR+++ and the int -4, which we'd really like to do, but we would need another source of MR+ to, at least one more source of MR+ to make things okay. And the only one that would really work is the Shield of Resistance, which I don't really want to wear in the face of this fully enchanted tower shield. Maybe, I'm going to put it on the shopping list by holding shift and pressing I, but I don't think I'm going to get it. We'll see. Maybe outside of Zot, but we definitely want to go back to the tower shield for the purpose of doing Zot, just because clowns are so stupid. But yeah, I'm kind of seeing a way that we could potentially get that Ring of Phasing on and then gain 4 of our Ent back and not be too sad about it. It's just I'd basically be trading some shields, a lot of shields actually, for EV, you know, is the bottom line. What would be happening there? But I'm gonna hold off on all that. And because like maybe by the time we finish Depths and Zot, some other better solution will reveal itself. Oh wow, what a meme. I guess I'll get marked on purpose. Yeah, whatever, I'll get surrounded, I don't care. It's fine. I have 339 hit points. Ask me how much I care. Scarf of Spirit Shield. Nah. We could still find, you know, like Hat of the Alchemist or something, which would change the character of this game quite a lot. Okay, this is a bunch of shapeshifters, I think. Let's just open this big boy up. Let's not be next to the orange crystal statue. You know what? I have a lot of Emulate. Let's use one. But my Hat of the Alchemist win rate. Yeah, the devs and friends of devs have an extremely poor opinion of Hat of the Alchemist, and that's because they're bad at this game. I assure you it's the best hat in the game. Just needs to be used carefully is all. An Ice Blast here to trigger more of this Immolate. Boom, 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 boom. Everything dies. Hell yeah. Okay, I'm going to end transformation. I'm going to walk up. This thing can drain my Ent, so I want to be moving as fast as possible as I walk up and own it. Oh, you sneaky little ass. He's sent his guys to get between me and him, so let's blink. Please stop summoning things. Holy shit. Okay, there we go, finally. Looks like there's no real loot in here that I care about. There's Boots of Running, which would have been super duper sick if I wasn't an obese troll with feet that are just too swollen from the troll gout to put on a pair of boots. But, you know. That's okay. Just tab this stuff. The correct thing to do here is to pull this stuff into a hallway and fight it, but we're so strong that I just don't care, you know? It's too bad I don't have regen. Lack of regen is going to make Extended a real headache. I think I already mentioned this. But you know what? We'll never have to deal with that again, because we're just going to play 0.24. Got your super overpowered merfolk killed in Pandemonium. Oh yeah, Hellions will kill you. You really only have to mess up a little bit to die to a Hellion. Plenty of ways to kill them really easily. It's just like they are unforgiving. The reasoning behind removing regen was that they claimed that the spell was a brainless, like no-brainer choice, which is it's bad on many levels. It's just unjustifiable. Whoa. Whoa, hello! What's up, guys, doing shitloads of damage to me? How's that possible? I guess we have a lot of haste and might here. I'm very surrounded, so they're cutting through my shield quite easily. Why don't we fear you guys? Yeah, there we go. What am I doing not in a hallway? Bad player. vamp, vamp, vamp. I'll do a lamp here. I'll even use clouds, why not? Look at me taking damage to a troll pack. Turns out I don't know what I'm doing. Surrounded by 5 hasted-minded deep trolls wondering why damage is happening. Hey man, I'm a little bit used to statue form just making me invulnerable. This win no longer counts. Lamp is illegal in trunk. This win no longer counts. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, they called regen a no-brainer, and like, okay, you can look at it. I had some, completely brain-dead person on Reddit yell at me for this because he didn't understand that there are different levels to it, but here's the 2 levels to the question, okay? Is it brain-dead to memorize, in the first place? And that's where I came at it from, and he was like, oh, well, if you're a character that can't memorize it, then obviously it's not a no-brainer. And I was referring to things like a low intelligence Minotaur with a bad aptitude for it, and he was basically arguing. It was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen in my life, to be honest. He was trying to say that was a bad argument, that some characters might not want to train for it because, oh well, they just can't cast it. But it's like, yes, they could if they put the experience into it. So that's meaningful. That's a strategic level of do I want to use regen or not. From a top level, sort of high level, looking in advance, do I want to put the experience here? That's a meaningful decision. Does my character want to train necromancy, charms, and spellcasting to get this thing online? And the answer is not always yes. There are some things that straight up stop you from doing it, like worshipping a good god or trog. There are some things that, it's just I don't want my experience to go there. I'm a Minotaur and I'm in Crystal Plate, So that's a meaningful thing. And then there's a whole other level, the tactical level, the lower level, the I already have it memorized, now do I cast it kind of level. And they tried to say that was a no-brainer, but the thing is, that's not a no-brainer either, because there are tons of situations, tons of fights, where you actually don't want to recast regen every time it goes down. Do you want to go into combat with regen up all the time? Yeah, more or less, I suppose. But if we're removing spells on that basis, then I guess we should remove every spell in the game, because, okay, D-Missile, you want to go and have that up all the time. Bolt of Fire, which is, I guess, not in trunk anymore, but like Bolt of Fire. If I'm a fire elementalist, I probably want to cast that at the start of every combat, don't I? Any kind of bread and butter spell. I guess we better remove BVC, because every fight where the thing is not immune to BVC, I'm going to want to open with it. So, like, in that sense, goddamn everything is a no-brainer, But, like, there are situations where with regen, it's like, turn economy matters, right? Just because I'm going to regen a few hit points over the next few turns does not mean that I want to cast regen while I'm getting walloped on by certain enemies. I may want to attack certain enemies to kill them as fast as possible because they are weaker, or rather more fragile, than other enemies on the table. If there's an Annihilator right next to me, you better believe I don't want to spend a turn casting regen. I want to swing on his dumbass or try to kill him in some way, like a scatter shot or something. Because the alternative is that I'm going to take 102 damage. So, I mean, to argue that the regen, the spell, is a no-brainer is just a bad argument. And that's why I don't think the devs are putting a whole lot of thought into the kind of changes that they're making to Trunk right now. I don't think they ever did, but like, it's showing more than anything because the pace of development. What I think happened is I think they got tired of people saying that DCSS had stagnated. So they just decided to kind of throw shit at the wall, like a shotgun, basically, only full of poop. Yeah, sorry to be crass, but like, I don't know what else to compare Trunk to right now, because it's like they emptied out a garbage can and like they just flung the contents of a garbage can at the wall, and they're like, well, some of this might not actually be trash. Let's see what's not trash. And then they just kind of kept everything that came out of that garbage can. At least that's what they've done so far. Maybe some of the stuff will get taken out of Trunk, I don't know. But my point is that I don't think they're really coming at it from a standpoint of, well, let's reason out what the best changes are, or let's have a consistent design philosophy. I think what's actually happening here is it's more like they're just kind of doing whatever they feel like doing. It's like, okay, well, I wanted to remove regen, I felt like it. And that's fine, it's their game, it's perfectly legitimate if they did that. I just wish they would be more honest about it, That's all. Because I mean, it's not. There's no circumstance really where you can make the argument that regen is a no-brainer. It's just not. You know, and if it is, then almost every spell in the game is one. That's my standpoint anyway. Anyway, we just found an amulet with +8 strength and +2 int and faith, which we don't care about. It's kind of cool from a statistics perspective, but we don't really need it. Another amulet with RF++, RC-, and MR+++. That's actually really interesting. That's really interesting because we have enough RF that we could afford to lose a pip. If we did that, that means we could get rid of the thing that's wrecking my int right now. Because our MR would be covered all of a sudden. And then we could replace that with phasing. So that's... Remember what I said earlier? Maybe I'm going to find something that will be a better overall solution. I think this is a better overall solution to the problem I was having earlier. It even gives us more mana, which is great because we have, well, we're going to lose our spirit shield. But hey, that's fine. Oh, wait a minute. No, this is a terrible solution. I'm not paying attention. We're getting RF++ and RC++ from our amulet right now. I was thinking of the old amulet. Alright, never mind. Forget I said anything. Yeah, oops. Oops. It's hard to keep track sometimes of the items in a game. But you do have to pay attention to it, and occasionally you do have to sit there and look at what you're wearing and what's available, because you may, you may come up with something that's simply better. I'm going to take this tally. That's simply better than the current configuration of items that you're wearing, you know? Don't shoot that acid at me. I want those charges. I used my rod of lightning there to kill that Spriggan as fast as I could. Alright, let's paralyze this dude because he can do 88 damage to me right now. Sometimes it's okay to fight slime creatures in a hallway. If they get big, you can just kind of paralyze them. Just try not to take hits from them because they can end up doing like 100+ damage. Oh, hello, that's a Hellion. We don't want to be in statue form near a Hellion. Holy shit. Oh, no. Okay, he can do like 45 damage, plus, well, he's fast, so he can do like 90 damage to us per turn. Something to keep in mind. Whoops, I did not mean to... Okay. I meant to send the water elementals to the Hellion, I just kind of screwed up. That's okay. Let's just rod this dude. GG, brother. Nice little Necronomicon here, but we already have one, so it's fine. You know, there's a lot of Spriggans on this floor and in that vault, but oddly enough, I don't think Enchantress spawned unless we just bowled over her so fast that... Yeah, no Enchantress. As Senshi mentioned, there is Magin Bow here. It will do damage to you every time you cast a spell. It's fun to use, but I don't think I would recommend it. I think I died while using that once a long time ago, and I decided it was a meme weapon ever since. Tons of fun, though. Whoa! Oops! Well, we just ate -2 dex because I wasn't paying attention, and a Shining Eye spawned, or rather a mutant, it was a shapeshifter, actually. Kind of painful. Hey, Gary Burton, social distancing is working out just fine. I'm not being distant at all from my fiancé, but that's cool because neither of us are really leaving the house, so everything is hunky-dory over here. How are you? Maybe she's wandering the floor like those other Spriggans? Yeah, man, that's possible. Probable, even. You know what's funny is technically I should try to hunt her down, because in theory, it's not likely, but in theory her fairy dragon scales might be worth. because they randomize every time. Oh, did I not tell you about that, man? Yeah, no, I got engaged a while ago now, actually. A few months ago. I mean, we've been together for like 5 years, so it's kind of inevitable. I wouldn't have stuck around with her this long if I didn't like her, you know? But yeah, thank you. Is she into any video games? Yeah, she likes the Persona series. As stereotypical as it is, she plays The Sims, but she doesn't actually like playing it. She just likes to make houses in it, which is kind of funny. She'll just like hack in all the... cheat in all the money she needs, and then she'll just make the houses, and then she'll get bored with it. We used to play Pikmin together, and she was surprisingly good at it. I don't know if you guys have ever played Pikmin. Fun little series, Nintendo. Okay, the shop has nothing I want. She absolutely does not play DCSS, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, I guess kind of, Senshi. I mean, she used to be into, like, Japanese Lolita fashion, so... I guess that word would, at least at some point, would have applied to her. Danganronpa? I don't know if I know what that is. I bet she will know what it is. She does speak Japanese, so... I mean... I guess, you know... She kind of falls into that box a little bit. I speak a very tiny amount of Japanese, but not enough to really do anything with. Hey, tons of teleport. Very good. Very good. Take the mapping as well. Take the remove curse. Google to the rescue. Okay, potion of heal wounds. Good. More remove curse. Good. I don't need more identify. I already have a ton. Normally I wouldn't be buying remove curses, but this is Ashenzari, so can't really have too many. That Feelwin, no Japanese speaking Lolita fashion fan weeb fiance. Yeah, she's pretty good. I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. But I don't think you stay with somebody for 5 years without, you know, without liking them. Although I guess some people do. Some people stick around in relationships they absolutely hate for a super long time. The coolest thing, I don't know, like, being in a relationship is funny because, like, if you live with someone, something I've heard about this whole quarantine thing is that there are people who have been in relationships for a long time, but they haven't really spent that much time around their partner in an extended sort of fashion. So they find out once they're in close quarters with that person for a long time that they actually just fucking despise that person. It's just really funny to me. It's not funny, obviously it's sad, but my life really hasn't changed all that much from the whole social distancing thing because, I mean, every single way that I make money, I do it online. Outside of getting food at restaurants, I don't really spend a whole lot of time going out into the world. Anything outside that I like to do is more of a nature-y thing, you know, like if I'm taking care of a garden or something, or going on like to the park or something. It doesn't really involve other people. And most importantly, like I've been living with her for so long that, you know, it's like nothing has changed, you know? Right, exactly, Gary Burton. They'll get into a relationship just because they feel like, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, oh, I'm not in a relationship and I'm at a certain age now, and oh, it looks bad because I'm single, you know, I look like a loser because I'm single. Like, dude, don't be with someone if you don't actually want to be with that person. If you can't spend a couple days in the same building, you know, in the same house as a person without wanting to strangle them, then clearly you probably don't belong together. Right, exactly, Gary Burton. When I go and do a personality test, I literally score 0 agreeability, so my ability to care about norms is just kind of nil, and so I'm going to live my life the way that I think is best, and the way that I think is sort of most positive for me, you know. And this whole social pressure kind of thing, it pressures you in the wrong direction, I think, a lot of the time. Even with regards to this coronavirus thing, like, if I go outside, I'm going to be wearing a mask, and if people don't like that, I mean, it's going to look a little weird because nobody around where I'm living is wearing one. I don't care. Give me a funny look. I don't care. I care more about my health than fitting in, you know what I mean? B-crawl real-time practice. I was talking about B-crawl earlier. I was saying that with the devs running mainline into the ground, B-crawl is just hands down the better product, you know? Like, you don't even have to try anymore. It's just the better product. But you guys should check out B-crawl if you haven't yet. It's really good fork of DCSS. I don't like literally everything in it. I've had my concerns. You know, you can watch my old YouTube videos of me raging out during the BSDC tournament about some of the early game changes, but overall, I gotta say it's a significantly better fork, better version of the game than mainline, especially as compared to 0.25, such as it is. Yeah, that's true. You did change the stair telly to where you cannot be teleported on floor 2 staircase now, that's a step in the right direction. Personally, I would have gone further, but I mean, I can't, it's your game, I can't tell you what to do, but I mean, the fact is that you differ from the mainline devs in the most important way, which is that if someone brings something to your attention, you will at least consider it. Your ideas about the game are not so strongly held that you completely, you know, abuse people who come to you with ideas. And that is unfortunately what happens in mainline DCSS with many of the mainline DCSS devs. Your ideas are basically considered garbage by default if they differ with the devs' ideas, or if you are not in their little clique of, you know, established members who are allowed to have opinions. Unless the idea is removing evocables. Yeah. Anyway, this you gotta watch out in depths. These guys exist. They have 170 hit points. More importantly, they hit for 40, and then they also hit for 80 at the same time. They do attack pretty slowly, but they hit incredibly hard, so I can just kind of tank them. But most characters are going to have some serious issues there, so you want to be careful. Let's get intelligence. We're level 27. We've maxed out. Yeah, Curare is a smart move versus Juggernaut. I probably should have done that, to be honest. They chase you down really quickly, by the way, so don't expect to be able to walk away from them. I think even if you Curare them, they'll be as fast as you as far as moving is concerned. I'm really only going to talk about the dangerous monsters here for this character. Eventually I am going to write a written guide for each section, each branch of the dungeon. And it's going to talk about all the enemies and how to deal with them. And that'll go on dungeoncrawlstonesoup.com. To be honest, I may start linking to B-crawl like first on that site above the mainline version of the game. Because I mean, if they're gonna throw the game into the toilet like this, then I think that other people should be given a shot at you know, doing a better job. Like, none of these people are Lindley himself. None of these people actually made the game. They just are the ones who stuck around long enough to have control of the GitHub. Kind of a similar situation to what happened to CDDA, where it's like Kevin didn't make CDDA, he just kind of inherited it. And what happens, you know, what happens when somebody practices terrible stewardship? Typically another steward takes over, you know? But in little games like this, you kind of have like a first mover advantage, and you have network effects, and the problem is that you can really run something into the ground really, really hard until it'll take a long time for people to actually say, whoa, wait a minute, this isn't the game that I actually like anymore, you know? It's like it's a sort of iron grip, you know, on the player base that it's hard to hard to unclench that fist, you know, gripped around the necks of the people playing this game. So you gotta watch out, because in Depths 5 there's going to be an entrance to Zot, and there's going to be these Annihilators. Usually there'll be at least a couple, but there will be other Draconians as well. You're going to get your first hint of Zot monsters on this floor. These ones happen to have wandered outside of their little entrance, or I guess exit vault, the vault that leads to Zot. Not too dissimilar from a Deep Elf Annihilator, just watch out for the Crystal Spear. That's why we're doing this outside of stat form, so I can attack him faster and move around faster. Whoa, I want to be in stat form here because I don't have our poise. In statue form, I'm immune to poison, though. Oh, oops. Watch out for Draconians that are purple. They can Quicksilver Bolt you with their breath, taking you out of transforms. Sure wish I had regen. Regen would make this a lot easier. Yeah, we gotta teleport. There's just too many things attacking me at once. Whoa. Let's take a step. Let's go up. Nice safe floor here for us to rest on. Just more Draconians in that little area than I thought. I'm gonna leave stat form to fight this guy. There's two of them. One died, that's good. Oh, my D-missile dropped. You guys didn't tell me, oh no. I wonder if I curse a robe instead of the troll leather armor. I wonder if that'll give me more dodging. I doubt it. No, it won't, because the troll leather armor is already considered the thing that gives me dodging, because of the low encumbrance. We learned this. We learned this from Man today. Thank you, Man. One of these days, by the way, I think I'm going to start doing real-time speedruns of this game. I think that I can beat the record if I put some time into it. I had the weirdest real-time speedrun that you never would have expected to be world record pace, but it was, at some point, world record pace. It was Minotaur Fighter of Chabriatos. Really not the kind of thing you think you're going to speedrun with, but I was doing it for the tournament, and then I got slowed down by an outrageous amount of time, like 10 minutes on the orb run, because the game decided to spit out 13 Panlords at me, and like 3 Seraphs, just an absolutely unheard of amount of crap on the orb run. Alright, let's see how we're doing. So we got all of the Depths experience, and we pretty much put all of it into Spellcasting, Necromancy, Transmutation. So where does that put us? That puts us at 32% chance of Necromutation. So we're not going to need to farm. It would be probably optimal for me to go to the Abyss and farm anyway. There's more variety in B-Crawl since DD5 speedruns aren't optimal. What changed with DD5? How do they define world record pace for speedruns? Well, I mean, when I say pace, what I mean obviously it's just like the overall, in terms of how they define the speedrun, it's just overall how long it takes to win the game in real time. But when I'm talking about pace, I'm talking about, okay, so if Man's still around, maybe he could show this off. There's a command that he uses that will basically let you split, I don't know what it is, I'm not even going to try, but it's a command that will let you pull up a run, and it'll look at, like, how long did it take you to get your first rune? How long did it take you to get your second rune? How long did it take you to get your third rune? And then you can compare that to other runs, such as the world record run. So if I remember correctly, my speed run in the last tournament, for the first, second, and third rune, I was on a pace that was actually on the same or better pace that was set by, I think, Power Mode's real-time score at the time for the very first, like, the world record. But then, like, after that, I just completely just went to crap, like the speed completely went down. So it's like if it took him to like, for example, if it took him to, 5 minutes to get his first rune, maybe it took me 4, and then if it took him like 3 minutes to get his second rune, maybe it took me 2 or whatever. He got sub 22 now. Yeah, I think the world record is 21, and my boy Flug Killer, he was like a champion, he rivaled it, but he was 1 second off from taking the first place. It's kind of funny. I'm sure if he tries again, he'll eventually get it. Anyway, I'm going to call it for the DCSS part of this stream. We'll do Zot next time. Like I was saying, Necromutation is pretty much there. If we keep training, take this maybe to like, I don't know, 22. And then if we were to, you know, if we were to maybe do a little swapping with our items, like find a way to get rid of this Ent -4, which I believe we kind of sort of have a path to that in the form of the Shield of Resistance and the ring, or the amulet of, well, that's MR++. I can't swap that. Dang, actually all of these options suck. Well, this might work. Lich form gives MR+. Yeah, I hate to rely on that, but that is true. That's something to remember for sure. Anyway, I'll put thought into this later. Basically, I might be able to get the Ent -4 off. If I can keep 1 pip of resistance on everything, I'm probably okay with that. But it may not be necessary. You know, we may be able to just train and get this thing nice and castable all by itself, which would be great. 7 potions of mutation, that's not bad. Yep, so yeah, next time we'll do Zot immediately. Crush everything in there. There's so much experience in there, I really do think I'll be able to get Necromute online. We also might as well learn Infestation, I just realized, because, you know, it's the same level as Necromutation, so as long as my Necromancy is high, then we're going to be able to cast it, which is great. I might want to get Death's Door, or maybe Revivification, that'd be pretty solid. We're going to need to Amnesia some stuff. We can do that real fast, I suppose. I'll get rid of Infusion. That's silly. Technically optimal to use. Hey guys, Infusion is a no-brainer. You got to cast it every fight. We got to get rid of it. Get rid of Summon Butterflies. Animate Dead. Do I care about Animate Dead? Not really at this point of the game. Yeah, no, it's kind of done being useful. Okay, there we go. I do want to get Revivify at some point. Look at that casual 30 cost spellcasting to go from 10 to 11. Amazing. Alrighty, so that is going to be it for DCSS stream. Did you know that there are many ways that you can help support this channel? Read about them on rosecrypto.com/support. At Rose Crypto, you can learn all about cool things like the Brave web browser, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.